this week on the Anime Alchemist podcast.
Massive spoiler warning for Mushoku Tensei or Jobless Reincarnation. If you guys don't read the light novel, crazy is how Alchemists lied to Rudy and, well, okay, maybe didn't lie, but was very vague about how Roxy hadn't had her monthly friend.
If you haven't figured out the pattern yet, it's basically big climax, action, and then you have a couple of slice of life chapters.
Yeah,
Most of the time
yeah.
it's slice of life.
Welcome back to the Anime Alchemist podcast. My name is Emorys. It's a very special episode today. We're going to get into why. The first reason why it's so special is because I'm joined today with everybody's favorite returning alchemist, Sammy Boy.
Or most hated.
Or most hated, yeah. I'm going to be honest, the love for you is very divided. Even amongst me. I love you so much, but then there's days I just want to stab you.
You know, split personality. It's great.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I can fuck with that. Yeah, I get that. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or you're watching this on YouTube. Drops every Wednesday and Thursday. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn those notifications on. Leave a comment whether or not you like this episode, especially if you want to hear us talk about this more in the future. There's definitely the opportunity for that conversation. Massive spoiler warning, like always. And instead of let's talk about some anime, let's talk about some light novel.
Books?
Yeah. So, massive spoiler warning for Mushoku Tensei or Jobless Reincarnation. If you guys don't read the light novel, I would catch up, maybe tune back to this episode later. If you guys do read the light novel, this is going to be the episode for you.
Covering a lot of stuff that's going to be talked about and seen in season 3. When we get it, hopefully 2026.
I hope. For those of you who listen, you guys probably heard, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we randomly called Sam on the podcast, and or no, maybe it was it 2 weeks ago, or was it like
three, something like that?
Yeah,
it's been a little while.
It's been a couple weeks, but we basically called Sam, and he told us that there's a light novel audiobook for Mushoku Tensei. And see, I'm not good with reading words without pictures. That's why I like manga. But I can listen to an audiobook. I already listened to a shit ton of podcasts while I'm at work, so it was a beautiful opportunity, and I don't regret it.
No.
Oh my God. I don't know where it is. Okay, you know what? Actually, I think we could start with is maybe some of the things that they changed or left out of season 2 there toward the end.
Okay.
Like, the first one I thought was crazy is how Alchemists lied to Rudy and, well, okay, maybe didn't lie, but was very vague about how Roxy hadn't had her monthly friend in a while.
She was preggers.
Yeah, basically told him, like, you know, you already kind of slept with her, and you're gonna have to just do what's right, man.
No, she in the show, I think, has done a fantastic job for most adaptations. She is supposed to be a far more complex character than she's made out to be, because yeah, that whole situation, Rudius is bad, cheating on Sylphie, lying to Sylphie. Roxy is bad for taking advantage whenever she knew that he was married. And then Alchemists in the show, it's presented just, you know, trying to give some friendly advice. You know, she has her own agenda, but she's also trying to be supportive and be like, look, neither of y'all follow Millis. Polygamy is pretty common in this world. Sylphie shouldn't care. Just do it. And so he thinks about it. In the book, it's 100% difference. Because Rudius was like, no, even though you're right, we aren't super religious. This is normal. He still can't do that. He's like, I'm going to stick with Sylphie. And Alchemists is basically just, you know, sees that he's a good person internally and uses that against him.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
It was purely manipulation.
Fuck, okay, yeah. And see, they left that out.
100%.
I don't know why. I could see them why they're toning down the aggressive, I don't want to say perverted side of Rudy, or the like, I don't know. I can see that they're trying to make sure they appeal to everybody as much as possible.
Yes.
But at the same time, you're still leaving out some context.
Mm-hmm. 100%. I do think, I'm surprised you started there, because going back to things that they cut out, the biggest one was whenever he was telling Roxy the morning after, he's having a crisis, and he's like, I'm realizing that I've lost my family again. I've lost Paul and I've lost Zenith. And now not only did I lose my family in the old world, I've lost them in the new world. And he tells Roxy that story about, definitely not me, but there's this guy, he's not able to go back to his previous world. He got another chance at life, and the same thing has happened again. What do I do? Roxy's smart.
Yeah.
She's able to put 2 and 2 together. So she knows, and Sylphie knows, because he talks to Nanahoshi in Japanese, and Nanahoshi says, hey, we're from the same
world.
She doesn't say world. She initially just said same hometown.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, that's cap. That's absolutely not.
I grew up with Rudy. We came from the same town. That's bullshit. Oh.
So Sylphie puts it together. Roxy puts it together.
Damn, I did not realize that Sylphie had put it together too. Shit.
He thinks he's doing this great job keeping it a secret, and no. Even if they don't know, they have an idea, at least.
Okay. Especially later on. I'm trying to remember. What's like the first thing that I guess 13 covers? 13.
So, if you haven't figured out the pattern yet, it's basically big climax action, and then you have a couple of slice of life chapters. Most of the time it's slice of life volume. So, first one, it starts with Roxy gets a job. Then
I think then it kind of shows or it tells about like Rudy training Norn.
Yes.
And like,
which at the end of season 2 you kind of see she's like, I want the sword. And he's like, but she doesn't have a trainer. She's like, will you train me? So they kind of repair their relationship a little bit, which is nice. But then Rudius learns some new magic, which comes in extreme handy later on.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Becomes a king class mage, learns lightning. So in season 1 he was able to create a giant storm.
Yes.
Made him saint class or saint ranked. Even though he's able to make his lower tier spells emperor rank or imperial rank, whatever the translation you want to use, he now has a true king class spell to take that storm,
condense all of it,
and then create a lightning strike.
Yeah,
essentially. So the issue is once you get to those higher tiers, they're not really effective in everyday combat because they take so long.
Yeah, and they typically will do big AoE damage.
Yes. Whole countrysides get wiped out. Instead of just a storm, it's like a tornado. It's crazy. So because he's chantless, he's able to go, what if I just reduce the power and basically just make it a handheld size? And so now he basically I think he just calls it lightning, but in the web novel it was basically a taser. Like
yeah.
I mean, that's how he uses it basically. He is able to completely bypass, and I think it was mentioned in the copy you were reading, but it bypasses Toki, which is what swordsmen use for defense in this world basically. The battle aura or whatever that he can't use, completely bypasses it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's a biological attack basically.
That's badass. Okay, I might have glazed over that part.
That's why it was able to, whenever we get to volume 14 talking about that, he was actually able to hit her and deal significant damage.
Yeah. We forgot. I don't want to glaze over this. Zenoba is the fucking goat. Oh my god, that is easily like my favorite character outside of Rudy.
Yes.
Motherfucker's ride or die. But like the first thing that you get to see him do for Rudy after the whole Paul and Zenith incident is he created a prosthetic magical hand. And Rudy uses it, and it's kind of broken.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking OP having it, especially when you see him like use it in that later battle. But like
if he catches anything with it, but yeah, no, and I'm pretty sure he can launch it.
Yeah.
Is that what he did? Okay. I was trying to remember.
And I think that's what he also used to shoot the lightning. is
Yes.
he uses that hand.
Mhm.
So fucking crazy. And I think it has like, doesn't it also have like a mana like absorption stone in it?
I'm not sure if he puts it in that one or if he uses it in the other, but yes, he now took one of the scales from the Hydra.
Yes.
And
yes.
then because he's like, this thing is annoying as hell, I want it. So
Yeah. Oh god, that fight.
he's basically now a walking tank in terms of like anti-magic. He's able to use disturb magic. That's what Orsted used on him. He learned how to do that. Now he's got the mana absorption stone. So really, he comes up against a mage, they're cooked. Well,
Except okay.
we'll get to that. But yeah.
So I'm trying to think I think it all starts to lead up to Nanahoshi getting sick.
Yes.
And so after they successfully brought, what was it, like a banana or a watermelon?
Yes, watermelon.
Once they successfully had brought like organic matter through their summoning circles, they Nanahoshi told them like, all right, like as like a reward for like helping me get here, I have to go talk to Perugius, the Dragon King.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just a title.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to that. And like you find out like he's the person who lives up in the floating castle still.
Chaos Breaker. That has to be the coolest name. I mean, he's making fun of it. I'm just like, I think that sounds like a badass name.
Same. I thought it was fucking like when he called it that, I was like, okay, this guy's very eccentric.
Yes.
But I fuck with it. And like they go to the floating fortress.
He's also racist. He didn't let Roxy up.
Incredibly fucking racist, man. Like the moment, like he sent down just like one of his what are they called?
Familiar spirits.
Yeah, one of his spirits, and they're like, all right, so we're gonna bring all these people. That one can't come. It's just like, wait, which? You talking to Roxy? It's like, yeah, demons aren't allowed, like at all. And like I kind of like forgot, like, oh shit, yeah, no, her people are from the demon continent.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would make sense considering like what Perugius did and what he stood for. I did not realize that he was the one that is watching over and sealed the demon god Lapis.
So a little bit of lore with that. Ruijerd, I don't know if you caught that. Ruijerd was actually one of the ones who helped him.
Oh, yes. So
it's weird that he sealed Laplace with a demon race. Hates the demons though.
Still, yeah. So
he has shown, I don't think it's that big of a spoiler. He shows eventually, or Zenoba shows Perugius, one of Rudius's.
Oh yeah. He
showed statues.
Yeah, and he's like, you made a statue out of a Superb, and
you're showing it to me.
Yeah. He immediately is just like, oh, we fucked up. Like this was the whole plan, was to get this acknowledged by him. This might actually like put a hindrance in like fixing the Superb name. But then when he was like, yeah, I modeled it after Ruijerd, and then he's just like, oh. And then he tells him like, oh, like the demon god like tricked the Superb by giving them those spears, and like they had no free will for it. He's like, oh.
I'm surprised he didn't know that.
Yeah, after that many years.
Yeah.
It's like you've gone this long and you didn't know that. That's.
But I guess the rest of the world believes it too, so I guess it's not common knowledge. So,
and so like, I think like, there's a lot of lore just to that castle.
Yes, which you won't even get in the entire. There's a side story called Old Dragon's Tale that there's a ton of lore associated with Chaos Breaker in and of itself.
Are you serious?
We'll get into it a little bit whenever we talk about 15.
Okay.
I don't want to give too many spoilers, but
okay.
Some stuff isn't super relevant, so I'll share it with that.
Okay.
But going back to Zenoba, and so
Zenoba, yeah.
Again, the dude has gone from a dude who's obsessed with just dolls and art to now he is creating a bunch of different materials, like you said, the prosthetic arm, the
animated doll.
He's working on the research project for Rudius, and then he basically. I want to talk about.
We'll talk about it.
There's so many things to talk about. No, but then he basically becomes the intermediary to Perugius because he's able to talk to him on that art level, and they're both just like you said, eccentric art buffs. I can't think of they're just obsessed with it.
They really are. And like, man, it's funny because you're watching, like, or you hear like Zenobia, he's just like, oh, wow, look at that, Master Rudius, did you notice that? And it's just like, wait, notice, well, what? And like the different Dragon King crests that are just randomly throughout the castle.
Yes,
it's a marvel. And
then they're all expecting Perugius to be annoyed too, and Perugius like, no, I actually like this one.
Yeah, yeah. I was so caught off by that. I was like, you know, if he's gonna like anybody, it would be the oddball one. If you've lived that long, you know, you've heard all this religious, political shit. You've heard everything. Oh, wow, you created new magic. Great. Your teacher's a demon, so I don't really give a shit. And then this one dude just rolls up and he was like, I like your architect. Also, did you notice this in your courtyard? And he's like, yeah, I did. Nobody else ever does. Who the fuck is this guy and why haven't you brought him to me sooner?
Exactly. Which...
He is such a pivotal,
I can't tell you yet.
Piece for, I guess, dealing with Perugius, because like later on you see that he tries to be like a mediator for Perugius and oh god, what's her name? No.
Alchemist.
No.
Ariel.
Yes, for Ariel.
Yes.
Because her whole intention is like she wants to get the backing of Perugius, because if she has him backing her, it just strengthens her claim on becoming the next monarch of
Asura.
Thank you.
Yeah. He is basically the #1 most popular person in the world / that kingdom specifically as well. So that's why it's such a big deal. He doesn't have lands. He just lives up in a sky castle by himself. But everyone in the kingdom, one of the first books Rudius ever has is just the legends of his life and how he defeated Laplace and all this other kind of stuff. So he basically saved the world. So
yeah.
His backing is huge.
Yeah.
If he backed her up, she wins. Period. End of discussion. He's just that influential. So yes, I completely agree. He goes again, dude who just likes dolls, and then becomes an intermediary between countries. Great.
And then maybe you can help me out with this one a little bit more. Do you remember like the night they went like just kind of exploring throughout the castle?
Yes.
And they just kept going lower and lower, and then like Nanahoshi's like, oh, you guys don't have to worry about going through these. Like, I've been through most of these. If they're locked, he doesn't want you to go. If they're unlocked, you're free to look. So they just start going through a bunch, and then they get to this one room with all the murals,
tapestries and stuff.
Tapestries on the wall. What the fuck is up with all that?
I'm fairly certain that is a story that is talked about in, again, that side story I talked about, Old Dragon's Tale, where it explains the entire background of the world itself. So I can do a quick summary. Essentially, what those are showing is the six-sided world.
Yep.
Basically, it was created as a cube, and each world was its own individual. There was Dragon World, Beast World. People didn't live together. They were separate planes of existence, basically. So the gods were able to move in between those worlds. And long story short, somebody who we know in the story
stopped letting them do that.
Tricks the other rulers of these different worlds. They're gods. They are true gods. And has them basically decide to fight each other, and then everyone ends up in the last remaining world, man world, basically.
Gotcha.
Or human world.
I wonder who could have done that.
Very, very difficult to guess, but...
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Huh.
So...
that actually fixes a lot of questions I have. I can understand why, like, the dragon race more hates him.
Yes.
I understand the big piece why they hate him, but stacking that on top, like essentially creating it's a holy war he created. Oh shit.
He is very manipulative. So we'll talk about him in a little bit, but it is like I said, that kind of history
of like how those worlds. Oh
yeah.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, it's everyone kind of escaping to human world, and that's why Perugius asks, like, what do you think of it? And they're like, I don't know what this is.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Did you notice they mentioned a rat?
A rat?
Yeah. Whenever they were going through the basement, they were just like, oh, look, there's a rat
Oh,
running around
shit. Oh, my God. Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Huh.
And it's very interesting that rats end up in places where they shouldn't in a coming chapter. But before we get there...
Hold on. Quick question. Do you think somebody put that rat in one of his bags?
No.
Okay. Thank God.
I think it came from there, though.
Okay. My brain instantly, because, like, you know how, like, around, like, 16, Rudy talks to that character we're going to get to in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, this guy might be an acolyte for him.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on him, but I also low-key kind of want you to kill him.
Yeah.
Now that we're, like, going back and talking about stuff.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like, how long has he been?
No, I'm going to say no just because it's hinted that he meets Hitagami at a later date, basically. So, Hitagami, man god, same thing.
Gotcha, okay.
In the web novel, he goes with Hitagami. They call him man god in the story. Light novel. So, just different translation.
Yeah, okay.
So if I use both, I'm talking about man god.
Gotcha, okay.
So, yeah, I think Luke meets him later.
Okay.
So I think it's just coincidence. But it's really not, because man god sees the future.
Yeah.
So.
Huh. Oh my God. That means, okay, so. Hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to it. We're glazing over the Nanahoshi thing.
I was going to say, big Nanahoshi.
Yes.
I love this arc just in general, because so many stories, it's like, oh, he gets reincarnated, and then there's no implication that he came from the previous world.
Yes.
She gets sick. She basically can't handle that mana exists in this world, and it's killing her. Anytime she eats anything, anytime that she breathes air.
Anytime somebody even like cast like detoxification magic on her, like it worsens the condition.
Exactly. Her body doesn't know what to do with it. It's literally the end of the War of the Worlds, basically.
Yes.
Bacteria kills them.
That's exactly yeah. That's what they reference to it. That's, yeah. And it's not like it's not it's just been a disease that they have had gotten rid of like 7,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And
just because they adapted.
Yes, just because humans over time naturally just adapted. And so they have to go after and find the only living individual that might know a cure for it.
Yes.
And of all goddamn fucking people, it just has to be
the little gremlin herself.
The fucking demon empress or emperor.
Kishirika.
Oh my God, man. So when they first got to the not spoiler warning, magic or like fun fact, they'd use summoning circles that just freely move from Prugius's castle. He's like one of the only people that can create in that world, correct?
So teleportation is taboo in the world and banned by most countries because from a military perspective it's broken.
Yes.
You can literally, someone can have fortresses all along their border, teleport behind them.
Yep.
So it's pretty much agreed to, banned everywhere, except for Prugius. Prugius like, I'm a dragon. I don't care.
Yeah, like who's really gonna stop me? There's only like one person alive that can.
So he basically, his fortress, remember how they had to go to the ruins or whatever and do that chant to find it because it was hidden?
Oh, yeah.
Chaos Breaker is basically floating ruins. And so there's a teleportation circle that basically he can use that to go to wherever in the array that he wants.
That's so broken.
So yeah,
okay.
Immediately, instead of taking years to get back to the demon continent, just, okay. He's like, I can't think of anyone else who's 7,000 years old. I hate demons, but if you want to go there, sure.
And like, funny enough, he knew exactly where she was. They put her right outside the town. Because
he is worried. I don't think it's that big of a spoiler. He's worried basically her and Laplace would team up whenever Laplace reincarnates.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he's keeping his eyes on her. She's not really a threat right now. And she's immortal. She is able to basically die and get reincarnated too. And so that's why she's like kid form.
Gotcha.
She died thousands of years ago, was reborn.
This is just her recent. Okay, so that makes sense that like when they got to the gates, they had all these like wanted posters, and they're like, well, like they thought Alchemist was her.
Which cracks me up. They look nothing alike.
And they're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess she kind of like looks like her, but yeah, we're just like looking for this girl. Was that just their like what her previous form probably was like? And what's her name doesn't know that.
Her adult form or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so, when they get into the town, they well, I don't want to say reunite with Horseface.
Roxy's old teammate.
Yeah. And like when he find out, like, oh, you married Miss Roxy? Shit, my bad, dude.
I don't want any beef with you anymore.
Yeah, no. And like he actually comes in handy. He like puts out his little networks, like trying to help them find her. And I'm so pissed that the reason they found her is the exact same fucking reason Rudy found her the first time. Just a little beggar.
She's just hungry, bro.
She just wanted food. And then like, it's funny because he's like, oh, why do I have such deja vu? Like, why do I remember giving food to a girl like in this area? Like, this is very, very familiar. And he's like, wait a minute, isn't it? And just pops out. Ha 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 ha. Fucking starts laughing. Oh my God.
She's probably one of my least favorite characters, quite honestly. But yeah, she has her moments. She gave Rudy his eye, comes in handy, and then she gives Cliff an eye at the end. She's a plot device. I completely admit it. It's not great writing, but you know what? You take what you can.
Does this make Rudy kind of a piece of shit? That
probably.
Well, yeah. In that moment when Kushrika is saying like, okay, well, like, you guys fed me, I'll grant only one of you a wish, and immediately goes to Cliff because Cliff was the person that like fed her originally. It's like, what do you want? And then Rudy, like, just his head, like, it dawns in his brain, like, wait, what's stopping him from asking her how to cure Lionel's curse? Oh shit, he wouldn't do that, right? Like, wait, like, that's an actual problem. And I'm like, fuck, honestly, like, I didn't think about that. And then he just turned around immediately, like, how do you cure this? Like, how do you cure this disease? Me personally, I was like, wow, I'm a dick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
say yes and no. I think, again, it's another example of the side characters just get so much development as the story goes on that you don't get in a lot of other stories. Cliff, whenever we first meet him, he's just arrogant. He thinks that he's the hottest shit in the world. Only cares about himself. Meets Rudy at school, just shit talks him, and then
meets Lionel's.
Exactly. Uses him to meet Lionel's, and then slowly, gradually changes over time to actually care about others, even though he's a religious. He started as a religious bigot. He's like, hey, it's not her fault. She has that curse. I accept her for who she is. That fantastic. But then, to your point though, he has those intrusive thoughts. Just like, is he gonna, he has problems. We're here for Nanahoshi, but if she can give him any information, he has a lot of questions. So, yeah,
it's safe to say, like, yeah, I'll give credit to Cliff though. Like, it does take a level of like, I want to say respect. I think it takes a level of respect for Rudy to understand, like, you can easily cut me down at any second. I understand that, but I'm gonna let you know I don't agree with your life. I don't agree with you having 2 wives. Like, it's not okay, man.
Yeah.
And like, when he's later on, gets even a little bit worse.
He's the accountable friend. Everyone needs someone who's able to, you have your friends who you mess around with, have fun with, but then you need someone who can be that voice of reason, keep you honest, and even if they don't like everything about you, they are willing to accept you for you.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's huge. So
he's definitely he's the moral compass for that little trio of misfits. Because you got Rudy, who's just the absolute degenerate and will do and say kind of whatever he wants.
Yes.
Zenoba's just gonna agree with Rudy to a T. So yeah, and like Cliff is still a homie. Like, especially like when you, like, that night they go out and they go drinking and shit like that. Like, that made me realize, I was like, damn, Cliff
cares.
Yeah, Cliff does care. Cliff is actually like, and I mean, like, so he this is a little bit later, like, yeah, Cliff cares. I like that. Later on, he does marry Alchemists.
Mhm.
Technically, him and Rudy are family now.
Yes. I was actually going to bring that up. I'm just like, they're actually... Technically, Cliff is his step godfather?
Yeah? Yeah? Or I don't know. He would be like a
Grandfather-in-law?
father-in-law. Yeah, grandfather-in-law?
Yeah. But then... He wasn't Sylphie's grandfather, though.
So it'd be a step grandfather-in-law.
Yes.
Boom.
I think that works.
Okay,
Yeah.
that works. It's... okay, we'll move. I'm gonna...
And then any of their kids, technically, are then... Never mind. No.
I know that they're...
Yes. No, any of their kids are technically Sylphie and Rudius's aunt and uncles.
Oh, yeah, they would be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's a fucked up family
this
tree.
Whole family,
this family tree
is a bush.
Seriously, especially like once Rudy, yeah, brother cousins, something like that.
Yeah.
And so, but like, okay, so like to Cliff's credit, he does turn around and he asks Nanahoshi about like how to cure Nanahoshi's sickness. She tells him like, oh yeah, all you need is just these leaves or this grass,
tea, whatever. Yeah.
From this like one place. And they're like, oh shit, well where's that at? Oh, it's way over here. It's like, oh okay, but then like you come to find out it's like everywhere, like underneath like every Demon King's castle. They're basically just selling it like a tea right there next, like behind them.
I don't know if you noticed it, but have you seen a map of the world by chance?
No.
So the first thing she mentions is it's part of this mountain range. It's found there. And they go, that doesn't exist anymore. There's a giant crater. Like the Earth, you have, think of it like a square.
Yeah.
With a giant hole in the middle. Well, not hole in the middle because it's an ocean. It's an ocean now.
Oh.
So that's why you got the Demon Continent, Milis, Asura, and then the Magic Kingdoms up here. So they are up here now.
There's just like, a big watery hole right
exactly. And so like, we can't get it. That was also created by Laplace, by the way. Fun fact.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's
dumb shit.
Planetary, yeah.
So, okay.
Just power scaling for you. What we're talking about here. So, yes, they basically find out, oh, it's under the Demon Kings grow it still. So, that's how they end up finding out that they need to go meet. I have no idea how to pronounce her name.
I don't
Every recording is different. I just call her Toph.
Oh, Toph. Yeah, that's the one I know.
I can't wait till Gary sees her. She has a horn.
Oh, yeah.
And she's blue. Oh, it's going to be all over for him.
Oh, yeah. I could see, him and that horn fetishes. You got a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm right there up there, man. She's a strong, powerful woman. But so, okay, the way they actually end up being forced to go meet a Toph is the guards recognize Kishirika, and they're just like, get her, grab her. And they're like, they start telling them like, oh, we're taking her with us. And like, no, like, we need her. She's supposed to be getting us this grass. And the guards are like, well, actually, we heard your conversation. If you need that, just come with us to the castle, talk to our king, and like just take like as like a reward for turning her in, like that'll be what you get. Like,
exactly.
Oh, okay. So they kind of like throw Kushirika under the bus, and as they go to the castle, I think it's Alchemists and Cliff go with a group to go get the tea, and then Zenoba and Rudy. Was it just them? Was it just those four that went?
Yeah, just the two of... Yeah.
It was just those four that actually had gone,
two and
right?
two went, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it was Rudius and Zenoba just meeting her first.
Because then when they get to the... I don't know, like, what do you say? Like the Great Hall or whatever, like, throne room. The guards even straight up tell Rudy, like, listen, if she offers you a reward, don't take it.
No.
Dear God, I wish he had fucking listened.
I think she would have attacked anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's an idiot.
She's big time.
She and Emorys would get along great, but she just likes to fight people.
I get it.
So,
I fuck with it.
Yeah, I think she would have probably attacked anyway, but...
And, like, so she shows up, and I forget, like, what made her think, like... What made her want to reward Rudy?
For bringing Kishirika.
Okay.
So that's what basically... He was just going to be like, no, our reward's just going to be the grass.
We're good.
Yeah, and then she was like, you're turning down my reward?
That's right.
And he's like, oh, damn it. fine, we'll take it.
Sure.
You can be my servant or one of my guards for 10 years.
Yeah, and become like, I'm gonna train you nonstop for the next 10 years. You're gonna be part of my private guard. And she's like, what? It's like, yeah, you get 2 years off every
10 years.
10 years, and it's just like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna see my child. Like, no, I want to back out. She's like, well, you can't. Either you're gonna join, or I'm gonna knock you out, and I'm gonna force you to write a contract. And apparently, when you sign that contract, you can no longer like disobey her.
Yeah.
At all. And
literal deal with the devil.
Yeah, yeah.
Or demon, whatever.
And I forget how it like escalated to the point. I think she like came at Rudy,
and
Zenobia straight up was like, grab. Like, yeah, no, I got you now. You're not going nowhere. And she starts like trying to batter him around. He's
at the very whenever he's like, even if I die.
Oh my God, no, that was fucking
just
crazy.
Her back. Oh my, yeah. Boom.
But I think there was a moment where like I think he had her, but oh yeah, no. He had her like by like one arm, and she like grabbed her sword, cut the arm off, and then like, backed away from him. The arm like turned to goop, returned back to her like God, what's his name? Badiati.
Oh yeah. No, I never made that connection. Yeah, no, you're right.
And then like I think Zenobia says like, Rudy, like, or like, master, like, whatever you do, I will follow it up. And so he's like, okay. And so that's when he busts out the lightning, and it was like strong enough to stun her. And Zenobia did not fucking hesitate. That man, she was stunned, and then his fist was in her face, and he sent her through a wall.
Yeah.
Or two, and he like
head clean off.
Yeah. Just, I think he even like ran up to like Rudy and was like, "That's my bad. I didn't hold back."
Is she gonna be okay? No.
I don't. Well, then like you realize like, oh, she's the immortal Demon King.
Yeah.
A Toph.
They got that title for a reason. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And so like, and then the guards do the craziest fucking thing. They're like, "Hey, by the way, your friends are probably done collecting the tea. You could go now.
Y'all should just run."
And it's just like, wait, what? Why? What's going on? He's like, oh yeah, take this tunnel, and it'll lead you straight back there. And it's like, okay, so like you get an understanding, like the contracts, like they can do whatever they want up until her giving an order.
Exactly.
I can't remember the name of that mage's name. More. That's right.
And he is probably the strongest, just pure mage we actually see in the series.
Yes.
And you see why. Like Rudius is going full
on. He's busting out the lightning magic. He's using he's
Quagmire, and he is countering everything he can throw at him.
Like even I think
he has to chant.
Yeah, and he has to. I think oh, that's right. So I think the first thing he does, so they like when they're running and they're Kushrika's like, no, you can't take that tunnel. That tunnel doesn't work anymore because Badiati destroyed it like 1,000 years ago. So like, okay, so long way it is. They take the long way. They think they're getting there, but like just as they approach, like
they're waiting.
They're waiting. Literally just steps out, and it's like, oh dear God. She was like, I have wings. I literally watched you guys from above. I
can only imagine just literally being like, oh yeah, I guess that's the thing in this world.
yeah. Honestly, like for me, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, they did say she had wings. Fuck. Just for like the rest of her like royal guard to be like coming up from behind the rear, and it's like, oh no, like this is turning bad. And so like
round 2, Zenobia has his
and they had like they tell like, all right, Alchemists, go tell Cliff he needs to book it.
Yeah,
he takes the tea, he books it. This is only a fight for us 3. Zenobia just blitzes a Toph, grips her, and it's like, even if it kills me, I'm not letting go of you.
Yeah.
And then Alchemists and Rudy take on like the squad of knights, and like Alchemists just immediately goes in, just starts thrashing shit, and then oh no, Rudy freezes them all.
That's what it was,
and
that's when we first realized, oh, Moore is not someone you can mess with.
Yeah, because like as like the entire field froze, he was like already ready for that freeze. So he started chanting like fire magic, and as he like heats himself up, he was melting the people next to him. then I think that's when Alchemist jumped in, and you're watching more like battle it out with Rudy from like a distance of magic. Like he's sitting there trying to disturb his magic. He's throwing the
stone cannons.
The stone cannons, like none of it's working. And I think it was when Rudy turned around and he's like, "Oh, the sand's wet. All the ice is melted. I could take care of all of this right now, but I don't know how it's going to affect Zenoba and Alchemist and myself." But he's like,
we got no choice because Moore was right on Cliff.
Yeah, he was right on Cliff. And so he's just like, fuck it. Lightning, and shocks the entire fucking battlefield, paralyzes everybody. Alchemist drops. Zenoba just passes the fuck out, like gripping a Toph. Rudy's like, well, that kind of sucked. Surprised up. Oh, nope, I'm blacking out.
Yeah.
And then he maybe blacked out for like
a couple of seconds
just to come through and see Moore still fucking chasing after Cliff. And
and guards came out of the ruins right in front of Cliff. And you're like, oh, he's about to die. We just lost Paul.
We're losing Cliff. Like, it's all game over. And I never really thought that this would be I never thought that like this was gonna happen, because I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. The guy coming out of the ruins, he fucked up.
Which one, Perugius's guys or
no? The guard that
went
like
to Chaos Breaker?
Yeah, he went to Chaos Breaker and was like, yeah, I fucked up. I'm a demon, and I went to the one place we are just absolutely not allowed. And Perugius him fucking self stepped out and was like, y'all done fucked up. I will be honest, I still don't fully grasp what he did to a Toph.
The best I can explain it is, remember whenever Rudius fought Orsted?
Yes.
And Orsted had that, like...
worm gates?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he popped two of them up, put them on either side of her, and basically just completely...
like, molecularly, like, destroyed her?
No, so because he has that promise with the first North God to not kill her.
That's right, because they have an agreement.
Yeah, so he just basically neutralizes all her power. The two worm gates basically take away her strength and then mana.
Oh,
so
okay.
He basically just like, you need to sit.
Oh, okay.
The fact she's just kind of like groveling at his feet, and he's like, I could kill you. The only reason you're alive is because I told your husband that I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And he was my friend. So I'm going to honor that. Take my friends and just...
I'm going to take my friends. I'm going to take this tea and have fun getting up.
Yeah. Just leaves, explains nothing, walks out. I love it.
Big dick energy, man. And like... that was like that you were not kidding me, or yeah, you were not bullshitting me. I told you, I was like, I remember I texted you, I was like, we're going back to the demon continent. Boo. Yeah. Like I'm already traumatized from them being there. And you were like, oh no, this is gonna be a different experience. Well, you were not fucking kidding, because by the end of like hearing all that, I was like, oh yeah, I need more now. Like the action got really good. We really get to see what Rudy's capable of now. Because I think he even like thought whenever he froze all those people, he's like, I just killed people.
For the first time.
For the first time, I just killed people. Granted, I don't think technically he did, because they all unfroze themselves.
I was about to say. Even then, I think he held back, but then...
And that's something that like they keep hinting at like throughout the story. So they get back, they cure Nanahoshi.
Mm-hmm.
Zenoba and Ariel are still trying to convince Perugius to no effect, and
then it ends with him meeting Hitagami, and again. I just have a small request for you. Go check out your basement.
Yeah. Oh well, no. Remember, he asked him. He asked him. He was like, "Hey, what would have happened if I didn't go to save Zenith?" Oh, Paul would have lived. Zenith would have lived. Like they would have like come up to this like other party and like teamed up, and they would have taken out the Hydra. Yeah, everybody would have been good. And then like Rudy was like, bullshit. If I wasn't there, Roxy would have died. And he's like, actually, had you not been there, this other adventure was going to be there, and he would have shown up, and they would have fallen in love and gotten married. It's like, huh. damn, Rudy's fate really is powerful.
Do you believe him?
Fuck no.
Okay, I was just about
Fuck
to say.
no.
I was just like, there are so many people I talk to, and they're like, "Oh no, he was telling like he shouldn't have gone," and I'm like, "You trust this dude, telling him after all the shit he's about to put him through that? Oh yeah, no, I still believe he was telling the truth about that. No way.
I think maybe the Paul and Xena thing. Maybe I kind of believe that one.
Just because I think that was his master plan or whatever.
Yeah, and I think
Roxy,
I think that was like the Roxy thing. That was just a jab at Rudy. Like, you should have listened to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then so he's just like, hey, listen, I just, you didn't listen. Or I think even Rudy tells him like, hey, I understand. I haven't been the kindest to you. I haven't listened to you, and I'm sorry.
He's really in his mind. You've had my back. Like,
yeah,
you told me trust Ruijerd.
You told me how to get like to talk or to meet Kushirika.
Mm-hmm. You told me to meet go save my parent or save Lily and Aisha.
Aisha, yeah, that's right.
He kind of forgot about mentioning go through the mountains, but
oh yeah, he did set him up to get fucked by Orsted.
Yeah,
and
then don't go. And he's thinking everyone would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in his mind, he's like, I may not like the dude, I don't trust him still, but I owe him.
Yeah. So he's like, what do you need from me? Like, what should I listen to now? And he's like, man, I don't need anything from you. Just go to your basement, check it out. If nothing weird happens, you're good. If anything bad happens, you'll know. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. And he wakes up. I think he was in his study, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he wakes up in his study, and he's like, well, all right, I guess I'll go check it out. And before he could leave, the biggest fucking plot twist.
Turning point 4.
Jesus. Okay. So yesterday you told me that they cover quite a bit in each, quite a few volumes
6
in each season.
So yeah, season 1 was 6, season 2 was from 7 to 12. So there's no way that they're gonna be able to do 6 in season 3 and do the story justice.
Hell
in my
no.
opinion. Yeah,
because as I've been listening to it, I'm like, okay, either they need to end it right after this conversation or right before it.
Yeah,
because
this should end core 1.
Oh, okay. You think they can put all that in 12 episodes? Yeah, because it's very, very, in the beginning, it's very slice of life-y.
Or
then they go to, I can see, yeah.
Oh, wait, no. They're going to end core 1, I think, on, I don't know. Because I think they should end it after 17, so only 5 novels in the whole season. So I don't know where they're going to split it. But
okay,
that's what I'm hoping. If they do 6 again, I think they're going to cut a ton of content, but it would end after 15. 15 would be 3.
Okay, see, I can see that though. Wait, no. Okay, I can see first core, you get a couple episodes, the very slice of lifey stuff. You get the some of the watermelon.
I'm hoping they cut that. They can cut stuff from 13. And 13 was meh.
And they can cut I guess some of the details that happens in Perugius's castle.
Yes.
I think they'll put a lot of their money into the Demon Continent, and then it'll probably just a first core for season 3. It'll probably end with the man god conversation, and then I think the best place to leave off, because it's such a good cliffhanger, leave it off after the conversation with future Rudy.
Oldius. Honestly, that's just what the community calls him. He's old man Rudius. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, after he has this dream and he's gonna go check the basement, this old figure show, he can feel somebody's watching him, and he's like, wait, and he turns around and he looks, and he's like, nobody's there. Feels somebody staring at him, and he turns around, look, nobody there, and then he's like, I'm gonna pull a trick on him. I'm not gonna look, but I'm actually gonna look, and he turns his head back and he's like, oh shit, there's actually somebody there.
Yeah.
And it's just this old man, and the way the old man I guess introduced himself is he calls Rudy by a name that this world does not fucking know.
Yeah.
His old what Bunny Lord, what do you call it? His original name? His dead name.
Dead name.
I like that.
He introduces himself with a dead name. I love it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not inaccurate.
No.
And like Rudy, Rudy's like inner monologue, just like, wait, no, nobody in this world knows that name. Not even Nanahoshi knows that name.
Exactly.
So this could only be
me.
Yeah. And this old man, like, I forget what the 3 things that he, like, his plan was, like, to tell.
Talk to Nanahoshi.
Talk to Nanahoshi.
Write Eris a letter.
And don't open the fucking basement.
Yeah. And don't trust the man god.
And, yeah.
But don't try to fight him either.
Yes.
Because you can't win.
Mm-hmm. And they have this conversation, and I think he explains to him, like, I traveled in time.
Yeah. They got law of equivalent exchanged.
Yeah, he was. I didn't think about it like that, but fuck, Sam, that's
100%.
The man time traveled roughly 70 years? I think
something
they said
like that.
something
60,
like
70
70 years, and he ain't got no guts. Like he literally he had a rib cage, but it was just
empty.
Yeah, he was just empty.
He's holding himself together with healing magic, and that's about it.
Sheer dumb will.
Yeah.
So man, this is so fucking dark. By the end of the conversation, Oldius dies, and Rudy has to go
burn his own corpse.
Yeah. And so right before he dies, he says,
here's the diary.
Yeah, here's the diary. And you Sylphie, Roxy, you're just as beautiful as...
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't until I you read that and he's like, it's like, okay, what's he talking about? And then Roxy and Sylphie like bust in, and they're just like, Rudy, like we heard yelling and like talking, like, is everything okay? And that's when you realize, oh fuck, he used his demon eye right there at the end and saw them come into the room.
The last thing he sees.
The last thing he saw was fucking Sylphie and Roxy. And you read okay, so yeah, he takes his body.
I can only imagine. The first time I read that, I about bawled.
I was so jacked up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was at work like, it's just a story. It's just a story. But like so Rudy burns his body, takes his ashes to Paul's grave. I thought that was a beautiful fucking memento, because honestly, like, that makes sense. Like, knowing how Oldius' life went, if you were gonna put his ashes with anybody, yeah, Paul's probably the best one.
Oh yeah.
And then he spends like the next 2 days reading this diary, and you find out how fucked that timeline was.
I don't know how they're gonna animate this,
dude. That's gonna be
hard to watch.
Yeah, because oh my god,
major spoilers.
Major.
Arguably top 2 spoilers in the series. Just the fact everything goes wrong because of one damn rat. Okay, so if Rudy had gone to the basement and opened that door, a rat from Perugius's castle, carrying a petrification, petrification, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
So basically, they're just carrying this super rare disease that can only infect a select few.
Pregnant women.
So like, it was in the house, it ate some food, and then
it was gonna die.
Who found it though? It was Aisha found it. Was like, oh, this weird rat. Throws it out. And then like, but not before
it
Roxy
ate some of the food.
And then Roxy later ate that food.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks later, they find out that like a cat came down with petrification disease or whatever and died. Then they realize that Roxy has it.
And it's actually, fun fact, again, petrification was actually mentioned prior in the story. You can only hear it with god tier healing.
Yes.
It's extremely rare. There's no way to cure it except for literally the highest
tier of magic.
Yeah.
And the only place to find that information is in Millis?
Yeah. You got to go to the church, bro.
And so they, in this dark timeline, they went to Millis and shit hit the fucking fan. They were like, oh, we're just going to copy this quick little text for this spell. No, it's like an encyclopedia.
It's a dictionary.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They steal it and then get caught.
They get caught. I think Cliff died, didn't
Cliff dies pretty quick, yes. And then...
Now Rudy's a wanted man from the Millis state.
He's basically hiding out in Ashura because if he goes anywhere else, the Millis is a country, and so, you know, they're sending assassins after him.
Mm-hmm.
This is old school.
And so I think when he gets back...
I'm trying to remember what he was doing that he wasn't at home to protect everyone. I think he was just trying to find... Oh, no. I think we're going too fast.
Are we?
Yeah. So basically, they get back, Cliff died, and it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
Roxy's dead too.
Mm-hmm.
They bury Roxy, and Rudius just goes...
Off hinge.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Guy...
Alynalise left. Alynalise was pregnant.
Oh, that's... I forgot about her.
Like, Cliff was dead, and I don't know that she blamed Rudy, but I think, like, something Rudy said, like, offended her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she, like, slaps Rudy, takes her baby and leave.
Yeah.
And I think that was, like, the last that he ever really saw of her.
100%, yes. So he goes into Depression 3.0.
Yeah.
And stops caring about his family.
Completely.
And just...
Becomes
he doesn't
the
have...
next level scumbag.
Yes. Starts drinking, starts not caring.
He'd be fucking other women.
Yeah, I was about to say, cheats on Sylphie again, this time with someone he doesn't actually care about.
Yeah.
And...
multiple occasions.
That's whenever Sylphie leaves.
Mm-hmm.
She is Ariel's bodyguard still.
Mm-hmm.
She decides, hey, Luke says they need me. We're going back to the kingdom. They leave without telling Rudius. And their shit fails too.
Yep.
Sylphie gets crucified.
Mm-hmm.
Just rocks thrown at her in the
most gruesome way.
Yeah. I don't know how we're gonna...
Yeah.
It's going to be an insane tone shift.
Mm-hmm.
And then just from there...
Well, don't forget, while he was like, willing in his own self-pity, Eris came back.
Oh, yes.
And like, Eris kept trying... Well, Eris was like coming up to Rudy and like trying to talk to him, but like Rudy was just too much of it up in his own fucking shit to see what was right fucking in front of him. And like, she just keeps pestering his ass for like the next 50 years.
To be fair, in his defense, I will say, he told her, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm married. Leave me alone.
That's right.
Everyone wants people to, not cheat anymore. Completely agree. But at the same time, in this timeline, he didn't. And look how that got him. So she keeps coming back because she sucks at communication. Instead of, explaining herself, she just kind of beats him up, trying to prove that she is strong enough to stand by him. Because in her mind, she's like, I'm still not strong enough. He doesn't respect me.
He doesn't acknowledge me.
Exactly. So she beats him up and leaves a couple of times. And then ends up, after Sylphie dies, he swears vengeance on the man god. He starts putting 2 and 2 together.
That's right.
He's able to go, that damn
Oh, no,
rat.
because remember, I think it was after Sylphie died, man god came back to him in his dreams and straight up
just gloated.
Yeah, and was like, you did exactly what I wanted you to do. Congratulations, you're the greatest pawn I ever had.
You're the most gullible loser ever. And people don't like being called that. So he swears vengeance.
And spends, I guess, the remaining
next 40, 50 years basically trying to, 1, get stronger, and then 2, find a way to actually fight Man God. Because every time he's met him, he's been in his dreams, basically.
Yeah.
So,
we find out where he is technically located.
Yep.
So, like you've described several times, like their world is a cube.
Yes.
And the man god lives literally, I guess, the center of that world, like the inner crust of it. What's that? What is that called? I forgot.
The void world.
The void world. That's right.
You dig a hole to China, he's right in the middle of it.
Exactly. But like, I guess you couldn't technically dig to it.
Minor details.
Yeah.
Find me a sandbox and a shovel. I'll dig.
I'll get there. Fuck it. Okay, I feel like there was. Okay, in that timeline though, he did get his. Remember his chantless magic became like a curriculum.
Yes. So he's getting protected by the countries he's living in because he's creating all these new magic theories. He's teaching chantless magic.
That's right.
He's an important resource.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't turn him over to the authorities. But so...
I think the moment he leaves, though...
I was about to say, he goes, finds out Sylphia's died, he returns, and then finds Zenoba, Julie, and Aisha.
That's right.
The assassins couldn't take him out. They can take out Zenoba. Zenoba's wanted too.
Mm-hmm.
And he loses it.
That's right.
Basically nukes half a country.
Mm-hmm.
Just burns it all down. And then goes on the run, essentially.
Didn't Lilia didn't she get Zenith out? Like they got tired of dealing with Rudy's shit, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. No, yeah." Like after the Roxy thing, and when he was drinking, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Norn definitely left.
Mm-hmm.
But Aisha came back.
Yes.
And again, Zenoba, fucking ride or die. He knew, he saw all this shit Rudy was doing. Still fucking rode with him.
He never quits.
Nope. I can't believe they killed Zenoba, though.
Yeah.
That hurt me.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty much impregnable to, blunt and slashing attacks, but magic, yeah, no, he can still get beat that way.
Okay. And
that's why it's really screwed up, because you hear he was guarding them.
Yes.
And they're just charred behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to be okay when we see this.
No,
episode.
this whole evil timeline. A lot of people. That's going to be the shift tone. That's going to be where people are once that gets animated, I guarantee the bandwagon is going to get huge because everybody can oh, this is not the pervy little magical fantasy anime. No, people fucking die into this shit.
Yeah. So we're talking about the diary. Mm-hmm. I think that pretty much.
What city did he nuke?
Asura. Ariel's
that's
city.
Right. Okay.
And then he sees his wife's corpse that way. Oh yeah, no, he's done.
Mm-hmm. No. That's when Dark Rudy was born.
Yes. He was worried about killing one person. Yeah. No.
Killed an entire country. And I think it was shortly after that he starts going on that he goes to find out how to get to the void.
Yes. Find some ancient dragon ruins.
Yes.
And he needs five treasures, basically, from each of which he finds out are held by the dragon generals.
Yes.
So, plot twist, Perugius has one.
Mm-hmm. He fights Perugius, doesn't he?
I don't think he does, actually. He says he doesn't want to kill him.
Gotcha.
So, because Perugius still had his back, too, actually.
Who did he fight that Eris showed up?
He decides... I forget why he thought Atoph knew something about the man god, but he goes back to Atoph.
Gotcha.
And for some reason, he underestimates Mor again, and they were going to kill him this time. And Eris takes the blow. Eris ends up dead too.
Yep. And then it was later on that Ghislaine explained to Rudy, yeah, homeboy, she loved you.
Where was she the entire time?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Just tell him that ahead. You know she sucks at talking and expressing herself. You tell him.
You're not gonna act like Ghislaine and Rudy have a good relationship.
Yes.
I personally like that relationship because Ghislaine knows Paul, and he's gone, but Paul, or Rudy also taught Ghislaine, and he's been to after the mana event, he went and saw where Ghislaine grew up.
Yes.
So they understand each other, I think, a lot more than it's let on. Why the fuck wouldn't she the adults that raised these two kids know these kids well enough to be why are you where the fuck was Rougierd? In that entire fucking dark conversation story, I don't think he's ever fucking mentioned.
He's not. I want to blow your mind about something.
Don't tell me he's dead. It's okay. We're good. Go ahead.
What if I told you the turning points actually aren't about Rudius's life? They aren't referring to Rudius's life.
Whose life are they referring to?
They're actually referring to the conflict between Orsted and the Man God.
Oh my fucking god.
And turning point 1 was, hey, listen, follow that Rudyard guy.
I'm gonna throw up. No.
That's all I'm gonna say. Unless you want me to spoil it. I can fully.
Is he a fucking acolyte?
No.
Oh, thank God. Oh, that one would have hurt me.
That one, no. That would have been a knife in the gut. No, absolutely not. No, he is just very. Remember, he helped Perugius kill Laplace?
Uh-huh.
And Laplace is supposed to come back in 80 years.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, having a guy around who's fought him before might be beneficial to people who might have to fight Laplace again. So it'd be very bad if Rudyard, instead of staying in the demon continent, decided to go halfway around the world to a place he wouldn't have otherwise if he didn't have some kids to take.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
It was a way to get him, like, away from being able to stop the return of Laplace? And so, like, oh my god, he's gonna come back and be a massive fucking, like, conflict for Orsted, isn't he?
Laplace?
Yes.
Spoiler, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you will find out a lot. We'll talk about it a little bit in 15.
Yeah.
He mentions it in 15 specifically, but yes, Laplace is a massive plot point that's going to be taking place in the future. So,
what was Turning Point 2? The
Turning Point 2 was meeting Orsted.
Oh.
So that.
Okay.
And then Turning Point 3, the reason I say he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
Turning Point 3 was going to basically just snuff out Rudius's line. If he had followed the Man God's guidance there, Roxy would be dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
one less woman for him to procreate with.
Yeah. And then Turning Point 4 is the catalyst to
getting rid of both of them.
To reintroduce Rudy and Orsted. So the turning points, everyone is saying, oh, it's just about, you know, changes in Rudius's life. He's going on an adventure. He meets Orsted, which, I mean, is still a turning point. But then 3 just, oh, he can either marry the beast women or, you know, we
go get Roxy.
Yeah. And it's like, oh no, there are so many more layers involved here than I think
I'm catching on to. Jesus Christ. Okay. And so Turning Point 4 is like where you either get Rudy that, like, Turning Point 4 is what puts Rudy on the line of whose side are you going to be on?
Exactly.
Man God's or Orsted's, because this is now your decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like later on, after he finally like finishes the diary, because I'm pretty sure that's vaguely like, you know, he figures out advanced gravity magic and super healing magic. He can grow limbs back now.
Yes.
And then eventually comes across time magic.
Yes.
And so
we went way off topic.
Yeah, we went off from the dark. That's and I mean that's basically how it ended. That everybody Rudy loves.
Died.
Yeah, everybody died, including Rudy.
Yeah.
And then so shortly after he reads the book,
he does not open the basement. Kills the rat, and effectively changes the timeline. So avoids the bad ending.
Yes.
And Oldius dies, buries him, and now he's like, I don't know what to do, because he said don't fight the Man God.
Don't fight the man. Yeah.
But don't trust him either. So he goes, you know what? I'm just gonna talk to Nana Hoshi. I'm gonna talk to my wives about the Eris letter, and we're gonna go from there. Talks to Nana Hoshi, and Nana Hoshi's like, I don't know why the hell he told you to talk to me. But because of the diary, she comes up with some theories as to the whole teleportation incident, the whole just reincarnation.
Oh yeah, because that's right. She like realizes like he was missing his stomach from this like Yeah, there's a law of what did you call it?
Equivalent exchange.
Equivalent exchange.
It's Full Metal Alchemist, bro.
They brought Nanahoshi. Somebody brought Nanahoshi into this world. Do you know the answer to that?
You find out in the very last. Basically,
Is
people
anybody
from
we
the future. Yes.
Huh. Okay. Oh god, time travel's a bitch.
Yes. Good news is you can largely forget about it because it's not truly plot relevant.
Oh, okay.
At least in Rudius's case.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I mean, like in terms of the overall story, it's like yeah, he's there, and they think someone from the future brought them. But in terms of, you know, it does not turn into time traveling Rudy going between different timelines.
Okay.
It's not going to turn into that. Basically, is all I'm saying.
Thank God. Okay. But like, yeah, realizes like, oh, like somebody brought me here. There had to be like a law of equivalent exchange, mass casualty event, like the mass teleportation event.
So yeah, basically, Oldius, as much mana as he has, it still costs so much to basically bring him back in time that it took the organs in exchange. The theory is, whenever they were summoned, one of the things Perugia says is you can't summon humans. You can't summon organic beings. And so basically the
fact that they did do that.
I was about to say the theory is somehow the world has to balance out itself. Rudius has a ton of mana. And so because of the Laplace factor, somehow the world has to balance out, and so the energy gets stored up and then exploded. It's the best theory they have. Okay. So again, it's just a theory. You don't ever truly find out about all of it. It's kind of left open to interpretation.
What the fuck?
Because
I feel like people who watch season 1 are gonna be like, "What the shit?"
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking Turning Point 1 doesn't ever get explained. Okay, that's cool.
Again, it's not about the teleportation. It's about meeting Rudy.
I know. Oh my fucking god, you're okay. We have to keep going.
Yeah.
Because my brain's fucking scrambling right now.
So then Toxin and Hoshi, she makes those theories. Actually talks to his wives this time
about introducing another woman,
and they're like, "We don't know her, and she hurt you." Like a lot.
We don't know that we're okay with that.
Exactly. They pretty much tell him, "We need to meet her first. If we can tell you're conflicted about it, because you know, who wouldn't be conflicted if some random version of themselves from the future told you, hey, by the way, the girl who you loved and she, you know,
your first?
Yeah. Actually, go message her again. Shoot her a little letter. See what happens.
Okay. No matter what future self tells you guys, don't ever message your ex. That is a bad idea. I don't give a fuck what Rudy thinks.
Dating advice with the Anime Alchemist.
Oh God.
The spin-off podcast.
Hey, you know what, man? Gary's been in. Am I allowed to say? Never mind. I won't say that. If you need relationship advice, ask Gary. I'm gonna just put that out there. Sorry, that was not on topic. Okay. So, do you want to talk about what Eris has been doing?
So yes, and basically, I'm hoping we get an Eris episode 0 like we did with Sylphie.
Yes.
After she and Rudius hook up, she realizes, hey, he's learning disturb magic, and in her mind, she's thinking, oh,
he's trying to fight Orsted again,
and I'm not strong enough to protect him. We're not equals in this relationship. And so she writes the letter in her mind saying, hey, we're not a good match right now. I forget what all else her letter says, but basically she thinks she needs to become stronger to be able to truly support Rudius as an equal.
Instead of standing behind Rudy, she wants to stand beside Rudy.
Yes. So she leaves with Ghislaine and then goes to the Sword Sanctum to basically Ghislaine can only train her up to a certain level.
So a Sword Saint, right?
Correct. And then you go basically do a dojo to get stronger. And so she has been training nonstop for years to get stronger.
Under the Sword God.
The Sword God, who's one of the 7 great powers.
Yes.
So he's 6th, I think, on the list.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And so she gets stronger. She becomes a king equal to Ghislaine. And then gets offered...
The Sword Berserk King. Or is it the Berserk Sword King?
It's funnier in the web novel. She becomes the Mad Dog King.
Yeah, no, okay, they say that too. Yeah, the Mad Dog King.
Yeah.
Like, Okay, yeah, that's a fucking mean ass title.
Exactly. I love it. And so she's been training nonstop. She becomes a king. The sword god basically says, I have nothing left to teach you. If you want to be an emperor,
you have to take down Ghislaine.
Yeah. She's like,
or if you want to be God, you got to take me down.
The fact that he gave her the option to challenge him, though, is crazy.
Really means that she's on a fucking another level.
Yeah. She's strong as hell.
Yeah. He like gave her, like, not only is she like a sword king level, but he gave her like essentially like a title of master.
Yes.
So she even has the ability. Yeah. She oh yeah, not even the emperors have.
Yeah. So
she has the capability of actually teaching. I love that, by the way, because immediately my thought straight went to Norn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you already gotten to that point?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. No, I was saying, actually, it's funny because, like you said, whenever, we'll get there.
Yeah. So, yeah, she finally completes her training, gets a letter for Rudy. She still can't read much.
I'm going to fight Orsted.
Yeah.
By the way, I married 2 women. Sorry about that. But if you're still interested, you can be my 3rd.
Yeah.
And, of course, her friends are like, the fuck?
This is a piece of shit.
Get this guy out of here.
Why? I feel so bad for you. What do you see in this man? I think it was on like the last page though that they like all kind of took it back and it was like, oh,
yeah,
maybe he's not that bad. And then it goes back to Rudy.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just her leaving. But then,
Man God comes back.
Yeah,
and is like, you fucking cheater. You time traveled. You let your past self come back and tell you all. No fair.
I don't like losing.
And like, I think that's probably the closest to a real conversation Rudy and the man god have had.
He dropped the mask.
Yeah, and he was like Rudy straight up was like, you've been lying to me. You've lied to me.
Yeah.
I now know like maybe half of this shit you tell me is probably the truth. And so the man god's like, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I have been lying to you. But here's some of the truth. Orsted has a curse, and you're not affected by it. And your offspring aren't going to be affected by it. And one day, maybe not you, maybe not your kids, but your descendants are going to team up with Orsted, and they're going to come to kill me. And like...
That's why I did everything.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, self-preservation...
That's a real thing.
It's a pretty good explanation. Like, hey, I
don't want to die.
He can see the future, too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's kind of revealed. But he's like, I don't want to kill you. It's just, I don't want to die either. So.
Also, like, if I die, the world dies. Yeah, that's a fucking lie.
Not really, actually.
Oh, God damn it.
That part is true.
I feel like it's a title that somebody has to continue to hold.
What?
Man God. So even if they killed that fucked up man God, somebody's going to have to take his place. Damn.
How did you guess that? That's impressive. All I'm saying.
Okay.
You hit it. Yes.
Oh.
The theory is Hitagami killed the original man god and impersonates him and claimed the title.
Oh.
So, but generally, if one of those original gods died, their world collapsed. That's why everyone's in human world now, because the gods fought each other and their worlds collapsed, basically.
Okay.
Except for human world.
Oh.
So that's why he's saying, if I die,
it all goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which after reading Old Dragon's Tale, there's some legitimacy to that theory.
Okay.
So that part actually, of all things, might actually be true.
Huh. Fuck. All right. And I think like by the end of the conversation, though, he like straight up tells him like, I want you to fight Orsted.
I was about to say, so makes it a little shade of gray. It's like, someone doesn't want to die. I get it. Plus, if he dies, the world may explode.
I live in that world.
As bad as his actions were, the life of everyone in the world versus the life of,
somebody
4
that's
or 5
hated.
People.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's the calculus there? It's pretty bad, but at the same time, so is losing the entire world. So.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yes. But, so, I think it's supposed to be more gray than it actually is in the book, but yeah. That's at least the best argument I can give for Mangon. I'm trying here.
No, you're doing a great job at it.
Yeah. So then he's just like, okay, I don't want to fight you. I just don't trust you. Can you just leave me alone? Like, why didn't you tell me just don't marry Roxy? Don't have a kid with Roxy. And he's like, fate wouldn't allow it, which fate becomes an interesting concept in the story.
Yeah, it really does.
100%.
People have strong faith. People have not so strong faiths. And it's just like, what's fucking what? So apparently Rudy has a strong fate. Sylvie has a strong fate. Roxy has a strong fate. Eris has a strong fate?
Eris is slightly weaker, but yeah.
Okay. I think Paul and Zenith both had strong fates.
I don't think Paul did. And I don't think Zenith technically does either.
Okay.
So it's basically Rudius and his wives.
I just realized something we fucking glazed right over.
What?
Alchemist. How Zenith was not the first person.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was... I can't believe we forgot about that.
That is also... Old Dragon Tale spoilers. No, it's going to take... This is going to be a sick... I'll tell you after.
Okay.
This is already going to be a long episode. So.
And you thought it wasn't going to be that long. Long story short, Alchemist was technically the only recorded living person who had a similar case of what Zenith went through and lived. Alchemist still forgot her entire past, but has just lived long enough to create a new life.
Yes.
But then that's when she also woke up with her curse.
Correct. The curse activated later on.
Mm-hmm.
So she was fine for a while, but then the curse activated later.
Gotcha.
So there was a concern whether Zenith would get cursed as well, but Alchemist basically says, no, it won't happen. So we kind of just take her at her word.
Okay. Okay, but yeah, back to it. After he talks to the man god.
He says, the only way I'm letting you live at this point is if you fight Orsted and kill him. If you fight him and die, I don't care. I'm still wiping out your family.
Yeah.
But if you kill Orsted, I'll leave you alone and I'll leave your family alone.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, I can't fight you. I can't find Orsted, but I guess I gotta fight Orsted.
Mm-hmm.
And so he begins training. He begins, goes to Nanahoshi.
Crafts up a plan to lure in.
Correct.
Orsted.
Basically guilt trips her. He's like, look, I saved you.
You kind of owe me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She does not want him to because she knows how broken Orsted is.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gives him some tools basically that will bring him to a location. It's basically, he had given her a warning ring basically that whenever she's in danger, she can activate.
Yeah.
And so she gives that to him, says, use this, and she hates herself for it. But then we get into Gundam. And
fucking right. You know, that was
again is the GOAT.
They build, and like, dude, when I had no idea what to expect, they build a mechanized magical suit for Rudy to operate.
Yes.
And it's a walking fucking tank. It's built with several like layers of magical circles. He's got a fucking stone cannon Gatling on it. He has a mana absorption rock like that. Yeah, that had the Hydra scale.
And I love how it's you just go from dolls to they find that book in the bottom of the basement for the I forget what it I think it was like just a automaton in the house.
Yeah.
So Zenoba's been researching magical circles. Cliff has been researching magical circles to help Nanahoshi.
Mm-hmm.
And Zenoba likes building the automatons or has been working on the automatons, so he has knowledge of construction and things like that. So and then he built the prosthetic.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't we just make the armor just a bigger version of the prosthetic?
Well, because didn't they say that? I think it was like the fighting god.
Yes.
The fighting god used to have an armor, and they were basically trying to recreate that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
or something similar to
it. Man God comes later and tells him, here, I know you're struggling. I didn't expect you to try this hard.
Here's some ideas.
Here's some advice based off what the fighting god did for his armor, which made him one of the strongest in the world. So do these steps, and then Rudius gets, I guess the only important thing is he gets magical tools that he doesn't need to form the spell. He's able to basically just make them into basically a Gatling gun. he's able just to activate and put mana into it without forming it himself.
And it just...
So Orsted can't counter it.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Oh, yeah. His Disturb magic wouldn't work on it.
Exactly. Because that was the big thing. How do I get past that?
Yeah.
So Man God gives him that advice too. So then we get the mother of all confrontations.
Fucking Rudy versus Orsted, part
Round
2. And it was not so one-sided.
It really wasn't. I mean,
when you find out like how far he actually
later
pushed
on,
his... Yeah. That fight was intense. Rudy... okay, I'm going to put this out here. Rudy is Batman.
Yes.
You give him prep time, he will fuck shit.
Yes. Unfortunately, he doesn't always have prep time, but yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you give him prep time. Yeah, he's I don't want to like spoil like the whole fight. It was insane. Rudy definitely pulled out all the strings. He is not pulling punches anymore.
Everything went perfect for him, according to plan.
Mm-hmm. And he still got
he still got his ass kicked.
Yep. Yep. Orsted had him on the ground, biting at his boot with a fucking sword to the neck. He
literally put his teeth on the curb.
Uh-huh.
That picture and scene, gonna be
it's
fantastic.
Fucking hardcore. Yeah, when they animate that, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
And then
he's literally Orsted draws the god sword. He's about to finish him off. And then the red-headed mad dog herself
fucking pulls up out of nowhere
and saves his life.
Yep.
So all 3 of his wives have now, in some capacity, saved his life.
Yep.
Sylphie saved him.
Emotionally.
Roxy saved him multiple times by getting him first out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Started him on his journey. And then also taught him lightning, which saved him from a Toph.
Oh, yeah.
And without Roxy, Rudius is possibly dead. So.
Easily.
Yeah. Then.
Eris rolling up on
literally striking Orsted, cutting his hand off.
Okay, do you just a little sidebar? You remember when like the 3 girls like they got together and they kind of had that drinking night, and they like talk like what their value, what they've brought to like to Rudy, and like they're like, oh well, Eris, you know you were his first, but then they're like, well, you know, Sylvie, you're his first wife and you gave him his first child. Roxy's just sitting there like, I don't really know what I did. She's the one that helped him conquer his first previous world trauma.
Yes.
Getting outside the house. Like, her doing that is the reason Rudy just has undying fucking love for her.
Yes.
I just want to clarify that. Just for anybody who has read that and was just like, yeah, wait, what the hell has Roxy done? That's what she did.
Yeah. Which, fun fact, that actually changed the entire story arc. The author has said initially he was just going to write a power fantasy isekai.
Really?
Roxy kind of changed the entire flow of it. So people loved her whenever the book first came out. So he changed it. So
fair enough.
She also saved the whole story. You're welcome.
All them shit talkers out there. But yeah, okay, so yeah, she ends up saving him. And I don't remember who said what that like triggered the fact that like Rudy was like, man, God told me I had to kill you. Because if I don't kill you, all my family's gonna die.
Yes. So right before Orsted was about to kill him, he goes, why did you do this? Like, I was gonna leave you alone. And he goes, man, God told me. He's literally about to kill him. And then he goes, that my descendants would help you kill him. And he pauses.
He's like, go on.
And that's when Eris comes in.
That's right.
So then Eris fights him directly. Does some damage, actually. But then basically, as she's doing this, she's about to die then.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I wasn't trying to kill you. I was just trying to distract you. Rudius has been getting healed up.
That's right.
And then Orsted is just done. He's like, look, I don't want to kill these people.
I have no reason to kill these people.
And he goes, look, you just told me some information I was not expecting. So you have 2 options. Either 1, I kill you right here, I kill all your descendants, or you become my subordinate. And
you're gonna help me kill the man god.
Yes. Which in his mind, he's like, well, Olios told me not to actually go against the man god, but I have no choice here. Either I'm dead or I'm dead. So he decides to become Orsted's subordinate.
Which I love.
Yes. Then we find out Orsted's a pretty chill guy.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He's actually very generous. All the shit he has given Rudius, I'm just like, that's what? Those are what?
How much money is that? You want him to build a castle?
Seriously.
Yeah.
He gives him a fucking sword, like a short sword that like can't even be sold because only royalty is going to be able to afford it.
Yes.
So he ends up giving it to Eris, which I thought was broken as shit.
And then he gives him just magic crystals instead. And he's like, sell these. And it's still just a couple of years worth of money right there. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they like, so I think.
Then we get into lore.
Yeah, so like, I think, you know, he like lets him go, sends a letter like, hey, whenever, I hope this finds you well. I hope your mana is restored. When your mana is fully restored, come meet me at the cabin.
Yep.
Goes to the cabin, and then, yes, you get the second biggest fucking plot twist of the damn series.
Yeah.
Okay, that man god. I'm gonna try and get this right.
Go for it. I got spark notes ready to go.
Okay, so man god killed the first dragon god.
Correct. Remember when I was talking about all the original gods? True gods.
True gods.
There is a title called god. There's like the sword god, north god. They are not true gods. Orsted is a demigod.
Gotcha.
He descends from
The first.
truly, yes.
Okay.
And so, yes, man god killed dragon god.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense why, like, they fucking hated him.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So, Orsted is the son of the first dragon god.
Correct.
But what the first dragon god did was reincarnate Orsted thousands of years later.
Correct.
And set it up so that over time the dragon people would like cultivate magic and strengthen, like they just become more powerful so that when Orsted's time came, he would be all powerful.
He, just like Laplace, is creating aspects, and it takes time for him to reincarnate. Same thing happened with Orsted. He had to find a suitable host sometime in the future to actually reincarnate. So yes, he was sent into the future, basically. And like you said, the dragon race has since cultivated information to give to Orsted.
Okay.
So that he would have the strength to fight Hitagami.
And now he holds the title of the title dragon god.
Correct.
Not actual dragon god, but holds the title.
He's a demigod, but yes.
Okay. And yeah, I think that was my best understanding.
I was I'm surprised you got all that in one run. That's impressive. And he is basically, Rudius goes, okay, you said I had something called a Laplace factor.
Oh yeah.
And that's whenever we get all the lore about Laplace.
Yes.
Which I would be very surprised if you caught all that.
Okay, so Laplace originally
was a hybrid. Originally he was demon, dragon, king, Laplace.
Yes.
And he was half demon, half dragon.
And then man god sent his acolyte, the fighting god, after Laplace.
Yes.
And during that fight, it was so intense, it split Laplace in half. One became the demon god, Lapis, and then one became the technique god.
Correct.
He created the seven powers, and he actually sits atop at number 1, right?
Yes. Orsted is stronger than him, but yes, he sits at the top.
Jesus fuck.
Yes. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know if you heard the.
Oh no!
I straight up screaming.
Everything. Okay?
Oh, never mind. We're good. Okay. They're cheering.
So yes, the fighting god, essentially beat him to the point where he split his essence into 2, and, like you said, created the technique god and the demon god.
Yes.
And
they're technically the same person.
They're one of the same. It's basically like, you know, I think it's Japanese, where it's like twins actually were like one person at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And so think of it that way is the best way I can do it. So basically his dragon half
became the technique god.
Correct.
And then his demon half became the demon god.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And so then technique god doesn't remember anything about man god. He just has memories of, I need to collect these techniques.
And build them up.
Correct. Demon God remembers the
hatred for Hitagami. And
but
so
thinks it's just humans in general. So
that's when he
just becomes a genocidal maniac.
Okay. And I mean, he got really fucking close.
He got really close. So then he gets sealed away by Perugius, Ruijerd, one of the other dragon gods prior to Orsted, and we find out he's going to reincarnate in like 80 years.
Yeah, 80 years from their current time.
Correct.
And the hints to him, his like return, is the Lapilis aspect.
Yes. So to reincarnate, you have to find a suitable host that matches different things perfectly. So,
come to find out, Rudy was always supposed to be Rudy.
Yes.
Like the body that would have been born from Paul and Zenith, had Rudy not been the soul to be up into it,
would have died.
It would have died. It would have been a stillborn child.
The body couldn't handle that much mana by itself.
And so, essentially, time is just like mankind's low-key just been evolving to create a suitable reincarnation for Lapilis.
Correct.
And some of the aspects that you see is like crazy mana,
green hair.
Sylphie
has one as well.
Yeah, so like Sylph, like, and is that why that when they went to Perugius the first time,
they're sparkling?
They were like, oh, but that doesn't make. I don't want to ask. Never mind.
No, do it.
Why did they ask if that's a Laplace aspect? Why did they ask if they knew who the man god was?
Because they know Orsted hates him, and so whenever anyone who has a Laplace aspect, and Perugius knows Orsted has to kill Laplace. So he was basically like, okay, they got a Laplace factor. I'm just playing it safe. I don't want to piss off Orsted. Is basically what.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, so then we find out. I just want to raise a couple of points before we talk about this next part. We've been getting a couple of instances of contradictions between what Orsted tells us and Perugius tells us.
Oh,
in chapter 14, volume 14, Perugius says Orsted just appeared here probably about 100 years ago. Perugius asks him, when did you reincarnate?
2,000 years ago.
2,000 years ago. And then what was the other one?
So actually, Perugius, though, is also a reincarnation.
Correct.
He just was only, I think he's either, he missed his childhood memories, or he was nothing but his childhood memories when he reincarnated.
I forget which one as well.
So like there was there is a memory gap from him from his previous life.
Correct.
God, this is where time travel and like reincarnation, like it gets confusing.
Yes. This is by far the most confusing book in the entire series. So, volume in the series. So, the fact that you followed along that well was impressive. So,
I love lore.
I would say
this was the perfect one for me.
Yes. So Orsted then, because he's a reincarnate, he says, like you said, 2,000 years old. He can see the stream of fate. He can't see the future, but he knows what history is supposed to be, and is able to basically see whenever things are not following the flow of history like they're supposed to.
Right. So, like, one of those things being, like, Eris was
supposed to marry Luke.
Luke, of all people.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And she was only supposed to be as strong as a sword saint.
That's right. So it's literally Rudy that's influencing this time that he's supposed to be seeing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Orsted has a couple of different curses, where first one is
every living thing in this world hates him or fears him.
Correct.
The second one is it's like he
can't go all out.
Yeah, he can't go all out.
Which is actually, he just restores mana really slowly. So he's trying to retain as much as he can.
And like that's when you find out like Rudy put some fucking work in because he used a shit ton of mana in that fight.
It's gonna take him like 30 years, I think he says, to get it back.
To get it all back, and that's why he tells him like, you're gonna be doing all the frontline work now because I can't I can't
go all out.
Yeah,
literally.
What's the other ones?
The third one is basically just he can see the flow of fate.
Oh yeah, the flow of fate. He's essentially Sinbad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually at least his explanation of it. Yes.
Yeah. What's the fourth one?
The fourth one, there isn't one.
No.
I either that was a mistranslation, or I think it says like the man god doesn't know what it is. So I think it's just like I know what it is, but it's a massive spoiler.
Okay, never mind. We'll leave that then. Yeah. Never mind.
You find out at the end of 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big bad. And so they start to like, because he can see the flow of time.
Yes.
They start to like hatch this plan into like what would give them the best opportunity at taking on the man god.
Yes.
The first thing they realize is that they need to get Ariel as the monarch of that fucking country.
Correct.
And so they need to find a way to get Perugius to back her, because even Perugius won't, like, Orsted was straight up rolled up and was like, yeah, you need to back that girl. No, I'm good. I don't want to say no, but no. Because even Perugius fucking fears Orsted.
As he should.
Yes. And so I feel like we're glazing over some shit here.
We probably are. There's a ton.
Roxy's pregnant.
Oh yeah, big one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And her, again, with fate, or the timelines, the whole reason Man-God was trying to kill her is that her child will be the quote-unquote savior of the world, which apparently, they mentioned this.
I don't think they did. I don't know.
Okay, well,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and I might have just... I can't remember.
It should... Okay, so it should be clear, though, that Hitogami did not want Roxy and Rudius to get together and have a kid.
Yes.
He did tell... And then Rudius was like, why didn't you just tell me don't have a kid with her?
Oh, yeah. No. So, you're right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
There is a reason. So, anywho, that's where I'm going there. That's all I'll say. It gets explained a little bit then. So...
I forget like all that. There was other things that like Orsted
so she is
told
having
him.
That kid though. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So she is having that kid. Eris is the third wife now. That's actually, well, I don't know that they really had a wedding ceremony, but like she is part of
the family now.
Yeah. Yes. And I at first
saving your husband, I understand.
Absolutely.
They were okay with it.
I love that like before Rudy even like was like, yeah, you're my wife now. She already moved her shit in. Mm-hmm. While he was still recovering, he was already moved in. And I like that
where was she supposed to go? Like she doesn't know anyone else there, so everyone was like, you can stay.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, what are they really gonna tell her? No.
Absolutely not.
No. Like there was fear in the streets when they said, "Oh, 2 Sword Kings are just in town now." By the way, and then I love that like the first thing that like, I think it was at the end of 15, they did this little like extra story, and it was Eris's like first day there, while like Rudy was recovering, and like the first thing that she does is she like she gets up. She does her training, and then she tries to join Sylphie, Lilia, and Zenith in the kitchen, and is like, "How can I help?" And they're like, "Oh, well, no, you don't have to help." Oh no, was it Lilia or was it Aisha? Oh no, I don't think Zenith was in there.
I think it was Sylphie.
It was Sylphie, Aisha, and I think Lilia maybe.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they're like, "No, we don't." I think Aisha was like, "No, we don't need help. Like we got it." And she turns around and she's like, well, I'm going to be the third wife to Rudy. Like, I should be able to come in here and help and do what needs to be done. And I love, like, high key, Sylphie low-key is like the boss bitch of that house.
She is. She runs
She
it.
was number one, so like she gets the big fucking says like, okay, that works. No.
Yeah.
And so like Aisha like looks at Sylphie and is like, what the fuck do you want to do with her? Well, you're a sword god. Why don't you cut some vegetables? Terrible idea.
Slices the entire, just clean through.
Clean through the cutting board.
I loved it though. It was
funny.
It makes so much sense. She doesn't know her own strength.
Yeah. And so they're like, yeah, maybe this isn't for you. So we're good. Thanks for your help. And then so she's like, all right, well, if I can't do household like work, maybe I'll go follow behind the scholar of the family. So she like goes with Roxy to work. But Roxy's a teacher.
That's right. And then she tries to be a guard or something.
Well, and then they were like even pitching like, oh, like why don't you become a sword like a sword fighting like apprentice? And they were like, and she was like,
oh, an instructor
yeah, but it was like an instructor apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't even gonna be the instructor herself, and the instructor's only like saint class, I think. So they were like, that's kind of a contradiction. Like it's either insulting to the instructor or it's insulting to Eris, because she just became a sword king, and like the saying of like those who can't do teach.
Yes.
It's not befitting of her. And so they're like, oh, like what if we get you a job as a guard? And like I think on her like first little like shift, they're like, all right, you just watch for sketchy people, see if anybody's out of the abnormal. But like all these people can, as they're going through, they can feel her malice, and so they're all in fear and like running until this one person shows up. He shows no fear, so Eris is like, you're fucking sketchy. I'm gonna take your ass down. Turns out that was the dean.
You don't mess with the dean.
And so she got fired.
Day one.
And on her way home, as she's approaching, she sees Norn talking to a boy. And he's like being rather aggressive with Norn. He's like trying to get Norn to like, I don't know, do something with him. And like after Norn said once, like no, Eris rolls up.
Big sis Eris pops up.
Sis Eris shows up and is just like, she said no, that means no. Leave. And I'm pretty sure she slightly like swung her sword enough to like scare him, but straight up told him like,
Eris we're talking about.
Yeah. She was like, if you ever put another hand on her, I'll cut that hand off.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, I think he was a noble, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Eris don't care.
Eris don't care. Eris give anybody the smoke. If she's gonna give Orsted the smoke, anybody's fair game.
She's pretty much the honey badger sword king, actually. Forgetting that. Honey badger.
Honey badger, I like that. And then like the
and really that saves her relationship with Norn too.
Yeah, because that's how that relationship actually. Yeah, because Norn is actually a follower of Millis.
Yes.
So she has issues with Rudy's having
multiple
numerous wives. She's gotten over the Roxy thing. Now the Eris thing's kind of a tough thing, but now she actually can see that I can have a relationship with this lady. This lady, if anybody's gonna teach swordsmanship to Norn, it should be Eris.
100% is.
And I fucking love that. That's her new teacher. But then like she goes into the house and all the girls are like, "How did you do that?" They're like, "What?" She's like, "What? Do what?" We have told that boy to leave Norn alone numerous times. She will not do it. We're scared if we tell Rudy, he'll kill him. But like, how did you do this? Like, I've been dealing with boys like that for my entire life.
That's just the way I roll.
It's just like if you beat them down quick enough, they won't get back up. And then like I love it because that's what cemented her place in the family. Is you have Sylphie. She's the glue that keeps the family together.
She's the rock.
She is the rock. Yeah. Roxy she's the brains. Like when Rudy has to consult somebody like strategically advice, like it makes sense. Roxy actually is the oldest out of that entire group.
Yes.
And then you have Eris. She's the full-blown fucking muscle.
She is the sword and the shield of the family.
Yeah, big time. And I fucking love it. It's a beautiful fucking dynamic. I love that like the three of them. There's not like a moment where it's just like toxic.
Yes, even then, I do like how they have the women's meeting where it's just like, hey, if you ever have feelings where you're jealous, where you're pissed off about something, let's talk about it here. between us first before we bring Rudy into it, if we need to bring Rudy into it at all. So I do like the fact that it brings up, okay, this is not a normal relationship in our world, obviously. So how does this actually work? And
we take turns, we have shifts. Sometimes we all come together.
It's a big,
the fact that we have gone probably like 2 hours without referencing how absolutely fucking perverted they make it, I think it's pretty 100%. Good on us. Like,
there's just so much more than that, though. That's yes, 100% it is. But at the same time,
and I feel like
eventually there's so much that you just, at least for me, I stopped noticing it a lot of the time.
I have to.
But then whenever I'm watching, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that's in there.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I can't like the subtle like references, I guess. It's like he references his junk in so many different fucking ways. Like I've heard it like the
Who doesn't
old
have intrusive thoughts about that all the time, dude?
Fair. I just, I've just never referred to it as like
the wise hermit on the mountain.
The wise hermit on the mountain. And then
I think he mentions Roshi a couple of times.
Yeah, man, he makes a lot of fucking real world references.
Oh, yeah.
And I fucking love it. There was one he had made and I was like, is that a Dragon Ball reference?
Oh yeah, no, he does Dragon Ball. He does Gundam, he does
I'm pretty sure he did One Piece.
I'm almost positive he did.
Because I'm pretty sure he referenced like a Rubber Man.
Yes, that's what it was. I forget when, but yes, he definitely does.
You can't tell me that him making that damn lightning is just isn't him stealing Chidori.
I'm pretty sure Jobless came out first. So
wait, really?
Jobless is old.
Really?
I would need to double check, but I don't want to say for certain. It would not surprise me if it came out first.
Okay. That's something I didn't know.
It's called the Godfather of Modern Isekai. And I'm trying to think when Naruto came out. Or at least Chidori. That's not even until...
the tuning exams?
Yeah.
Okay. It could be up for debate.
Well, let's Google it. But yeah, no.
I'm trying to think, because now we're starting to get close to where I was.
Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, that definitely mentioned Sailor Moon.
So, but going back to the whole storyline. So now he's working for Orsted. We know a little bit about Orsted, why he hates the man god, why he's planning this whole thing out 80 years in the future. He needs Rudius to basically be his right-hand man because he can't expend much mana. He can't
expend much mana, and due to his curse, he can't make connections throughout the world.
Yes.
Like, he actually has no relationships with anybody outside the dragon generals
and Nanahoshi. Yeah.
So he needs Rudy to influence Ariel, influence Perugius, have those
interpersonal connections that he can't establish himself.
Yes, exactly. Wow, that's really well put. And then in return, Orsted's showing a way or helping Rudy protect his family.
Correct. Because he's working under him, he gets a bracelet that basically... Another thing you should pay attention to. The thing Rudius wants is to keep his family safe from the man god's gaze.
Yes.
And Orsted, as part of one of his curses...
Oh, he resides outside of the man god's...
Fate.
Yeah.
And so the man god can't see him. But as a result of that, that's why he's using up so much of... He can't restore his mana quickly because it's basically being used to keep the man god's view away from him at all times.
Okay.
So he gives Rudius this bracelet that essentially does the same thing, but there's no side effect.
Huh.
So it's very... You'll find out. But it's another thing that, Orsted says that doesn't seem to make much sense. Because why would he give Rudius a bracelet that does the same thing that his
magic does?
As opposed to
just using it for himself the entire time? Huh. Okay. So you don't trust everything Orsted
I was about to say.
Damn, man, these gods are dicks.
He did just try to kill him.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
I was gonna say, you don't just be like, well, you're working for me now. Here's everything you need to know.
Okay.
So just keep in mind, as you're reading 17, you'll find out couple more details about him. But yeah, just something that I noticed while I was listening to it a couple of days ago. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit.
He does help him summon a spiritual beast, though.
Correct.
That would have like a strong fate that would kind of like camouflage the family, essentially.
Yes. Or at least by being around the family, the man god is not easily able to
influence around them.
Correct.
And the first time they end up summoning one of Perugius's spirits,
the one that tried to kill him in the first season.
Yeah, which did not go over well. They were pissed about that.
I mean, he lives for Perugius, and so yeah, Perugius was pissed.
So the fact that just this fucking random mage summoned him, yeah, kind of a dick move.
And plus, I mean, Perugius, I don't know if we mentioned, he's god tier in barriers and summoning magic.
Yeah.
So the fact Rudius was just able to overpower it with his mana.
Because all Orsted did was just draw the circle.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, and then that explains why the next summoning he does, he just steals the beast people's fucking sacred beast.
Okay, you already learned it was the beast people's? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that big old fucking
the big old white fluffy dog.
Yeah.
Season 1. Yeah.
He's gonna get in trouble for that, isn't he? Well, I mean, Ghislaine saw it.
Maybe.
Oh man. Okay.
Might be an issue. They kind of need it for their protection, though, too. You know?
Yeah. Oh, god damn it. Man, I'm telling you, because I'm so one of the things that Orsted tells Rudy is that there's probably other people that the man god's manipulating.
Yes.
The first one they tell you that everybody kind of thinks could possibly, most likely, is the first pawn is Luke.
Yeah.
And
Luke is Ariel's knight, #1 confidant.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to put Ariel on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And so killing him kind of would ruin their relationship with Ariel.
Yep.
But if he's getting manipulated, you saw what Orsted did as soon as Rudius mentioned the man god.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's Orsted's normal
default action.
I was gonna say, he finds out that you're an apostle, you're gone. So he is just like, I guess you gotta kill him. Rudius is like, okay, wait a minute. I know I'm new and all, but I'm not big on this whole killing thing, so can I just kind of keep an eye on him, and then if something bad does happen,
I'll mark him up then?
I was going to say, I'll do it then, I just don't want to do it right now. So Orsted actually relents. He's like, that's actually a good point. We want Ariel to not hate us, or hate you specifically, because she would hate Orsted anyway, but...
Funny enough, she was not fully influenced by his curse. Whenever
have you already gotten to that point?
So whenever Orsted went to first talk to Perugius about letting or backing Ariel was in the castle, and so she got a glimpse of him, and she was just like, he's a scary person.
Yes.
But that was kind of just the extent of it. She actually has the ability to. I've noticed I think it's people with strong fates have a bigger resistance to it.
I think in her case, it's just that she's been trained her entire life to deal with people that she hates. She does a much better job at hiding it.
Okay.
Or she hates a lot of people and is just used to it. So.
Well, because then think about it. Eris sat that first meeting right there that entire time, and we definitely know she's not scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
But if she hates him enough, I feel like it wouldn't have ended up the way it did. She just sat there pretty quietly, and the only time that she ever really got, I guess, irritated was when Rudy wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. And whenever he said I might have caused the teleportation incident, at least that's what Nana Hoshi thinks. She was like, what?
Yeah. You did what?
Yeah. So
I was right there with you, dude.
That's a good point. And then she also found out he was reincarnated.
Yeah.
So all 3 wives, he straight up tells Orsted, by the way, I'm reincarnated, and Eris is right there.
Right there. And then, she may not be bright, but she
was able to put 2 and 2 together, and she's like, but you're still
Rudy, right? And it's yes, I'm still the same Rudy that yesterday. We just know things about me that we didn't know
exactly
before.
So that basically takes us to 16.
No, I think that was mostly 16.
I thought 16 was largely them solving Perugius's question.
Nah, that was more the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Perugius's question for Ariel is like, what makes...
Yes. So basically, Orsted now is, hey, your first mission, we're going to help Ariel become king. Because he read the... Sorry, Orsted gave... Or Rudius gave Orsted the diary. Orsted read it, and he's like, okay.
There's some contradictions in here that I see, but then there's some like similarities from the time, like the flow of time I see, and from what I'm reading in this, there's two like parts that kind of intersect, and those are probably things we need to ensure happen.
Yes, he knows how the man god was using him to adjust fate.
Yes.
And so the first thing they want to fix is Ariel becoming king. So Ariel is still working with Perugius, trying to get him to back her cause, and then he basically is at the end of his rope, and he's like, look, you've been asking for probably months at this point. I'm just going to ask you a simple question. What's the trait?
What's
what's the most important trait for a king to have? And I forget what her answers were, but he is not happy with her answers at all. Then Rudius comes up with one on the fly, and he's like, his answer was better than yours. Still
That's
wrong,
right.
but better. And so he's like, I will back you if you can come up with the correct answer.
She didn't even, like, spoiler warning, not come up with the right answer. She just said something to him that he was like, you know, I like what you're saying. Like, that actually, her overall, she was like, it doesn't matter what makes a good king, what doesn't make a good king. What matters is, are you willing to carry on the will of the people who put you here?
Yes.
Because, like, that's what they learned, is that, like, the only reason Ariel is here today is due to the fucking bodies that have been stacked up to get her there.
She walked there on a trail of corpses.
She did. And that was her realization, is that what makes me a good king is that I'm not going to let all the people who sacrifice their lives for me die in vain, essentially.
Exactly.
I will sit upon that throne because that is what they died for. I might not want it, but they thought I was good enough for it, and that's why I'm going to do it. And
okay, Jon Snow, calm down.
That's fucking funny.
Too bad.
You were kidding. Yeah, it's fucking anime Game of Thrones now.
No, 100%. And then, to your point, like you said, Perugius like, that's still the wrong answer, and then he questions her on it. But then it was her determination that she's like, look, we may disagree, and if we do, that's fine. I don't need you. I'll do it myself. And he's just like, she has backbone.
I like that.
I like her. He's like, you remind me of Zenova. I like you.
We're good now.
So ends up getting his support. And so now I think you said they just started the journey?
Yeah, they just started the journey. Also, Rudy got some new drip from Worsted. He gave him that fucking cloak.
The gray rat cloak?
Yeah.
Made from gray rat fur? I'm like, really? It's a little on the nose, but...
A little bit. I forgot what it does.
It's just resistance against magic. As if he needs more.
Oh.
And slashing, I guess.
Okay, yeah, because I thought there was like a physical buff because like he can't produce fighting aura or whatever. Yeah. So like that was to help combat in that.
It's like slash resistant or something like that. It's not... It's still a robe at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I promise you, it's not like his mark. It's not like his armor. It's not nearly that strong. It's literally just resistant.
Oh, okay. And so yeah, now where I'm at in the story is like, yeah, they're getting their shit together. Ariel and Luke and Rudius, Sylphie, Eris. Oh, and they introduced Ghislaine and Eris too.
Yes.
To Ariel, and like Ghislaine is now
one of her bodyguards.
Jesus fuck. Last thing she needs.
That is a solid set of bodyguards.
I'm gonna put this out there. You know, her being there, is Luke really necessary anymore?
Luke was never necessary except for, you know.
You know, that's a good point since he has Sylphie, or she has Sylphie. I was about to
say, what was Luke gonna do? Stand there intimidatingly, like? Oh.
But then, well, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so they're going. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, they're going back to what's the country name?
Asura.
Asura. They're going to Asura. They're trying to set up. They're trying to set up everything because Perugius is coming.
Yes.
And they're trying to like show her strength and claim to the throne because also her father's sickness has now been like confirmed and he's dying.
Yes. So there's 2 other princes basically that also are trying to get the throne, and so it is quite literally Game of Thrones to.
And also, Orsted and Rudy both think that there's a high probability that either the prince, one of the princes, like one of Ariel's brothers, and the current prime minister,
yes,
might be acolytes for the man god.
Correct.
And so, like, they're also proceeding with much caution with those 2 characters as well.
Yes. In addition to Luke, like you said, that they can't really do anything about right now.
And then I think, doesn't one of the brothers, isn't he backed by the North God? Yeah.
Backed isn't the right word, but he
essentially hired the North God.
Yes.
Because
correct.
the North God style is basically just backhanded shit, right?
Do whatever you want to. And Auber is awesome. Auber is a Chad.
Yay! I love Chads.
He's a bad guy, but he's a Chad.
Okay.
He's gonna be a fun character. I like him.
Fuck yeah.
And
I feel like that's probably
there's another character who, if you looked at the cover of the book, the Water God, I think. I'm pretty sure she was mentioned.
Yeah,
as well.
she was. I'm pretty sure that's also somebody on their side as well.
Yeah, she's also a Chad. She actually was introduced in a bunch of Eris's side chapters from the earlier books. She actually trained both the North Emperor and the Water God. Partially trained Eris as well. So Eris is Emperor tier in Sword God style. I think she's Saint tier in North God style, and then like only intermediate in Water God style. But she was trained in all 3 styles and knows the people that they're going up against.
Holy shit. Damn, that woman broken.
Yeah, no, she's strong.
Oh man, you know, she does, like, I know she's a savage by all nature, but she does have like a what's the word? She has like a
battle IQ?
No, like a higher upbringing. Like she comes like a
she was a noble.
Yeah, she has noble upbringing. So like, yes, she doesn't know always how to talk to people, but like she does know how to talk to higher ups to a point. Like
she gets the point across.
Yeah, she's just like, fuck the pleasantries. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is.
Exactly. I think they're just more intimidated and don't want to talk back to her.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking blame them. From the description, she sounds like she's bad.
Oh yeah. No, she.
We can say that now. She's 18.
Oh yeah. No, whenever she gets her.
Oh, I cannot.
It's gonna be over. The amount of like figures and stuff and fan art that you're gonna see, it's gonna be unreal. So,
yay! For all my muscle mommy lovers out there, we got something coming good
in 2026.
God, stop fucking saying that.
Development hell, everybody.
How many more volumes do I have?
So you're on 17.
There's like 25, right?
26.
26.
So
I have 10.
Yeah,
dude, I had to I would realize I was like, wow, you know, I've actually listened to a good amount. I did the math. Do you know how many fucking hours that is?
Way too damn many.
It's like a whole entire day.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's why literally whenever I was driving here, I was listening to it. Just that's how I did it. I would whenever I was going home from college or something, or just long distance drive, just toss it on, listen. So sounds like you're doing basically the same thing.
Well, yeah, because like my job's about an hour away. It's in Magnolia. I don't know if you know where that's at. So it's like, yeah, hour commute there, hour commute back, and then, dude, for my job, I don't deal with people. I don't deal with customers. I get on the property side, put my headphones on, press play, and I just stick it in my pocket and just start doing my job.
Gotcha.
And there's been so many times where like it's been going and going, then it gets really quiet, and I'm like, what's going on? And I pull out my phone and I'm like, oh, new fucking volume. Shit. I did not mean to finish. Yeah, let's go. What's next? It's so
I am curious,
good.
So where you think the story is going? Because, so we have the background of Laplace in 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
And on the last episode, you go, did we guess the ending of the show? And I'm just curious. So now that you know about Laplace in 80 years,
I really think
I guess I'm just looking for theories. Whether and
either. Okay, so like I know they keep saying like 80 years, but I think that there's been so many different like world altering events, like the Calamity, like Nanahoshi being there, Rudy like actually being there and like having knowledge now, like the fact that old Rudy went back in the time, like that changes things.
Yes.
I think that Lapis will come a lot sooner.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's gonna end up being one of Rudy's kids or
Ooh.
grandkid.
I mean, they both of them have Laplace factors.
Exactly. Like it could easily be like one of like Rudy and Sylphie's kids, or I don't know. Or it could be the one that fucking Rudy and Roxy have.
Have you gotten to the point where you did very first time Perugius met Sylphie and Rudius?
He told them, whenever you guys have a son, I want to name it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember what Orsted says, no, it's not Sylphie. Laplace can't revive as a woman. Has to be a man.
Uh-huh.
Perugius said, let me name your first son.
Oh my fucking oh man. Do you think Perugius is doing that because he can tell?
Perugius knows all about Laplace.
So yeah. Oh my god. Don't tell me their first son is gonna be Laplace.
I'm not telling you anything.
You fuck. You love giving spoilers.
I do, but I'm not telling you this one.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's an interesting couple of coincidences.
I think because like,
or at least let me put it this way: there's at least a chance. Laplace's factors are going out. They have a kid.
It makes sense.
That's why Perugius wants to do it. He is concerned because remember he's got the little sparkly thing. And
gotcha.
So
he just wants the opportunity to like look at that kid and be like, "Is this?"
He wants to make sure that ain't Laplace.
I'm gonna mark this.
Okay. Exactly.
Okay. I really think that like, okay, so the 7 powers.
Mm-hmm.
Something just tells me that like somebody, I don't know who, is time travel is a motherfucker.
100% it is.
So like I just I don't know. There's so many things that keep popping up that like reference the past, and I'm just like, did one of you motherfuckers go back in time to make this?
Make who? Or sorry, make what?
Here's just like an outlandish one. Like there was a solid moment where I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But like, does it? Because Rudy knows that like time travel is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if he sent somebody back in time? Like somebody.
He sent someone back in time?
Yeah. Like I don't know, like what if the plausibility of like he sends somebody back in time, and like him sending that person back in time, they themselves became a pivotal point to like set up what they would do later on. Like for whatever reason, they got to send Zenoba back in time.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And like they had to send Zenoba back in time because turns out, and again, this is like a really far stretch one, like Zenoba was the fighting god, and like that's why they had the.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, actually, there was something we found out who's.
You do find out a lot about the fighting god later on.
Oh, okay, bad.
So that is very important. That's all I'm saying there. But
they also told us whose. I don't know if it was whose house it used to be, but the doll was
King Chaos.
Yeah, was one of the other Dragon Kings, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like somebody's gonna time travel again. Like you don't bring up time travel magic and it not be used again.
Interesting. Okay.
There are would you like to hear some of the spoilers I know about?
Yes, I was gonna say tell me what spoilers you do know of. That way.
I know that Rudy and Emorys have the first boy.
Yes. Ours.
I know that him and what's her name? Aisha run away.
Yes. That isn't officially canon yet.
Okay. I've heard that
Yeah.
a lot recently, and I don't know why.
Because it's controversial as hell. Like, yeah.
Okay. I also. Oh, I guess I could see why.
Because they're related.
Yeah, that would technically be. Let's see if that's technically Rudy's sister.
I'm telling you, the family tree is a dang circle.
Oh my God, she runs away with her nephew.
Yeah, they're Targaryens.
Oh shit! Grey rats are just fucking Targaryens, keeping the bloodline pure.
Exactly.
I swear to God, if Norn marries one of those kids, I'm gonna throw up.
You do find out who Norn marries.
Really?
It's not going to be. I would be shocked if you guess.
Ruijerd. I mean, it makes sense. He transported her.
Yeah.
I think she has, for whatever reason, she does have much love for him, even though their
so with these,
small.
you want to know if you're correct or not? Because
Yeah.
You were right.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Okay. Oh. That doesn't sound like it's going to be good. If he's married to Norn, who's going to be around to like help take care of the Lapalus issue?
Him.
Oh, okay.
Or their kids. It's the Grey Rat descendants that.
Oh, okay.
help.
Okay.
So she could be.
Does this story continue past like the life of Rudius?
No.
Okay.
The story. I'll put it this way: the story ends with his death.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's a spoiler. Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Sorry, like everyone dies at the end of their life. So the story ends with Rudius dying.
Okay.
In one way or another.
Oh, okay. Oh. Fuck, man, I better be. Like, part of me really wants it to be like a wholesome kind of ending because I fucking hate his previous life.
I will say, of all the shows I have ever followed, I get pissed off about endings more than anybody.
Same.
This
fucking
was
same.
the most satisfying ending I personally have ever read.
Okay.
So, to me, that's what makes the stories a 10 out of 10. The story itself, probably 9 out of 10. The ending and just how satisfying I was whenever I read it, 10 out of 10.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, I
loved my man.
Yeah, what can I say? Phone is blowing up. But yeah, no. So it ends with the death. It does not go past his life.
Okay.
You can't.
That makes me question like a lot of shit. Like okay, not that it makes it like I personally am gonna be unhappy if he dies and the man god situation is not fucking handled.
Interesting. Okay.
Like I want to see some kind of like I want to see like a level of closure. Like I don't want it to be left up to the mystery. Like I procreated, I made this huge family. They got the rest.
You get closure.
Okay.
It may not be to the full extent that you want, but you get closure.
Okay. I won't lie. If anything happens to like Zenova or Orsted, I will probably fucking rage.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay.
Or Zenova is
best boy.
Yes. I will say from now on, all the characters from season 2 that were introduced, Ariel, the Beast Girls, Zenova, Cliff, Alynalice,
Luke,
they somewhat drive the plot at certain points for the rest of the way. Zenith,
oh my god,
they will play a heavy role in each of the upcoming arcs. So this arc specifically, you've already seen Ariel, Sylphie, Luke. So just keep that in mind. Next couple arcs, you may be seeing some of your favorite characters get plot related to them.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
I really hope now that you brought it up. I really hope. I don't care if she ever like talks again. But like Zenith has become the protect at all costs in my heart.
Yes.
Like the fact that she doesn't say anything, but she gives facial expressions, or she'll come up and start smacking Rudy because it's like 3 wives is bad.
Yeah.
I love that. Or like, you know, when
you do get closure on her.
Okay.
And you find out what actually is going on with her. I'm trying to think if there was one scene that you've already seen or read.
I mean, like, she's...
When Eris...
Yes.
There's a side story where Eris... Oh, the one where she went to all the jobs and stuff.
Yeah, and then she talks to Zenith.
Yeah. She's like, she didn't say anything, but she thought she could hear her say, you know, tell Rudius that, not me. You don't have to be so formal. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to say that foreshadows something.
Okay. Do you think they could... can they take her back to, like, Roxy's family?
They could.
Because, like, they don't, like, communicate, like, talking.
Yeah.
They communicate with thoughts.
They got telepathy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why the fuck hasn't anybody thought of that yet?
That's a great point. That's a fantastic point. You should keep reading. See what happens there.
Okay, I will. God damn it. I don't want to know, but I'm very curious. Bunny Lord, how long have we been going for? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just getting through what we've done. I was about to say, that's
imagine if I had caught up and we had talked about this.
Oh, dude, if you had caught up, we would be here all day. I knew that wasn't happening, so I was just like, nah.
Thank God. Yeah, when you told me that you were still coming this weekend, I was like, I'm not caught up. I hope that's not a problem. Oh, no. But, like, by the time, like, I think Friday came around, and with how much I had, I was like, this is plenty enough for us to talk about.
I was about to say, hey, you got till 2026.
Yay! Okay, so, like, I think, so season 3, by the end of Core 1, they will probably do up to Old Man Rudius. And then I think they'll probably end season 3 after I can see it being like, they probably end it after Rudy becomes Orsted's subordinate.
I think they're going to go to the end of 17. I think they're going to do Core 1 from Roxy becomes a teacher through...
Maybe the end of, they can cover it up all the way to, like, Eris's.
I think they're going to end it whenever the man god tells him, okay, fight Orsted.
Oh, that would be a good,
In the core right there. And then Core 2 is...
First half.
Preparing...
to fight Orsted, fighting Orsted.
Becoming a subordinate. That's a ton of content.
That's a fuck ton. That's what I'm saying. Either, like, they're going to, like, cut out some, like, small little details that, like, if you don't see it, some other shit in the future are gonna go right over your fucking head.
This is why people recommend starting from 1, because there is so much cut content. It still tells a great story in the show, but there's just so much lore and background that's cut. I don't know what. I think you cut most of 13. And I think you cut most of 16. And you.
Oh, if they cut 16, I'm gonna be pissed.
Not cut 16, but just cut down.
Oh, yeah. I could see where they should, but they shouldn't.
Yeah. I'm in agreement.
Fuck.
I think they can do it. It's good. I mean, they were doing 6 volumes previously, and it felt pacing. Pace-wise fine. So, I could totally be wrong. And then they do 6 anyway, and it comes out fine. I am hoping.
I'm horrified, by the way, that I'm going to turn into you. That I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this with people. And
that is a terrifying thought.
Look. You see that? Look at that.
Martine's going to be like, shut up and just let me watch.
You know what? Dude, you know what we should do? We should watch it with Martine. And the moment they go to the Chaos Palace, just like, pause it. Look at that crest. You see that crest? That's going to be important later on.
How that's the one thing he remembers that I told him. Like, it wasn't super important. It's just, hey, dragon race looks similar to Orsted's crest. It's kind of important.
Yeah.
As a hint. And then he's just like, I think it's super important. I think that's gonna do so. And I'm like, no, it was just a cool little shout out. Yeah,
it's
a hint that, oh yeah, that's the dragon race sign. So,
there's a good chance that whoever was in that basement before
was a dragon.
Yeah, was a dragon.
Exactly.
So okay, that was confirmed. That like was that house like that dragon king's?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so a whole house. Oh, okay.
That's why it's so big. That's why, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
I'm surprised that they've done as well as they have with the amount that they cut out. I was thinking it would be very, what's what I'm looking for? disjointed. I feel like it's just as a reader, it's been fantastic. So they are at the point where I'm giving them a benefit of the doubt on season 3, because that is, those books that they would be covering are, in my opinion, the peak of the story. The rest of it is still great, but whenever people say like, what are your favorite volumes, it's always 15, 17. No one likes 18. But 17 and 15. So, and you now know why.
Yeah, 15 was fucking amazing. I didn't know I needed it. A fucking giant mech in a fantasy anime fighting a dragon.
I can't wait to come back whenever in 2026 when we see that and just get Gary and Martine's.
Oh, we are definitely gonna have to get those reactions.
That's gonna be insane.
Oh fuck! If you guys want to see that, let us know in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this conversation, if you guys want me to continue listening to the light novel, I will. Don't worry. Let us know in the comments. And if you guys want us to come back and recap the finishing of the story, just me and Sam, we will definitely do that if you're open to it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm sure you want to come back.
Well, and plus, once you know everything, there's so much more I can bring up for actual discussion too. That's such hard sitting here. I'm just like, I have so many things I want to say with the spoilers.
I will listen as fast as I can. Okay.
I cannot wait.
If you guys think that Martine and Gary should probably listen to the light novel or read the light novel, you should let us know in the comments.
Roast them.
I understand now that, we've always said that, like, our Mushoku Tensei content does really well. And it's not because the anime is good. It's because the people who have read or listened to the light novel, they just really appreciate the story. And
yes.
I can fully agree. I will say this. If you guys are hung up on, like, the immature, perverted aspect of Rudy, hang in there. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I would say where season 3 probably starts to show up is when Rudy's a father. So now he will grow up quick. And
he's still a dude.
He's still a dude.
He grows up quick. Yes.
Very quick. Yes, it's that aspect of, like, a man, a boy becoming a man because, like, he has a child, and, like, he understands a lot more that he's responsible not only for his life but the lives of everybody around him.
And he will do anything to protect them.
Man, flip-flops on gods left and right. But I appreciate you coming out here, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me always.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody for listening. Make sure you guys, like always, subscribe, turn those notifications on, and Alchemist out.
Alchemist out.